What's good? What's good, everyone? I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to see if a few people join the room. Yeah, I'm just gonna be ranting in this video. Yeah, I'm about to keep it a little bit more keep it a little more respectful. And if you guys haven't already, go subscribe to my Chauncey13 channel. I'm gonna be upload. I'm actually, well, I am gonna be uploading on that channel some videos that I won't upload on here, and I may go live on that channel. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna have to switch up the channel a little bit. I know you guys like it when I get very disrespectful and raw, but they watching my fucking channel and they playing fucking games. They suspended my fucking channel. Well, okay, let me tell you niggas what happened. This shit is fucking crazy. All right, so they banned my channel, right? And it was March 29th they banned my channel. They striked me for a video I made in October 2002, and it was about self-harm. And I wasn't even making fun of anybody who goes through self-harm. And so that was all bullshit. And that video was private because I privated all my videos before January 2023. All those videos were privated. So all those videos were privated, and I wasn't talking about self-harm. They come and they hit me with a strike around on March 29th, talking about I got a first email saying, do you need help? Call the suicide hotline, whatever. So when they give you that email, that means that they strike you with your channels because you're talking about self-harm. So right when I got that email, I was like, all right, they got me for another video. Like, what the fuck? And I looked at the video, and it was a video I made in October 2022. So I was like, why the fuck are they banning a video that I made in October 2022? And not only that, the video was private because every video before January 2023 was private. So they hit me with that, and in my channel they said, "Oh, we removed your channel. We removed the video," and then they hit me with a third email saying, "We removed your channel." So that happened on March 29th. That same day, I filed a complaint or an appeal, and on that appeal, I left. They said we removed your channel. So I appealed the video, which was on the Chauncey1 channel, and I appealed the channel. I appealed both of those. So mind you, this says the Chauncey1 channel that I filed this appeal on. This is only one channel, the Chauncey1, the one you guys seen. Tell me why, like in probably like I'll say 4 to 5 days from when I filed the appeal, they come at me saying this your channel has been removed. And on when they sent me the email, they said my channel was my government name. Like they said the channel, and it was my government name. So I was like, I never had a channel stating my government name, but for some fucking reason, they banned a channel with my government name, which I never ever made an account or any YouTube account with my government name. So when I seen that, I was like, okay, they just fucking with me. This is weird because they didn't even put my Chauncey1 channel. They just put my government name. So they just try to attack my channel. So I just like, fuck it. I'm not even gonna waste my time and shit. I made another channel, and then I made another channel thing. And then that's when I made the video telling you guys that they banned my channel. When they banned that channel, it had my government name as my channel that was banned, and that they reviewed it and they said, we're not going to give you your channel back. So I thought they were talking about this channel, but it was really, they were trolling me there because you got fucking people watching this shit and they troll. That's like, you got people on YouTube and like that you guys be trolling, and you see trolls, these motherfuckers who run shit, they be trolling. So they're fucking around and they troll, say, oh, they banned my shit with they sent me an email saying you're not going to get your channel back after reviewing the appeal, which I only sent them an appeal on my original Chauncey1 channel. So where the fuck did I get my government name as a channel? You guys never see me make a name with my government name. I don't want to tell you guys my government name, but they sent me an email saying, oh, we reviewed your channel, and we were correct. It does break community guidelines. We will not be putting your channel back. and the channel they had was my government name. I've never made a channel with my government name. So when I seen that, I knew they were playing games. So I came and I made the video saying that, oh, they banned my channel, guys. They banned my channel. I'm not going to get it back. So this was probably, I would say, around April 4th or April 3rd. So fast forward like 5 to 6 days later, on April 9th, fucking, they see me. I get an email saying, your channel, we reviewed your channel and it actually does follow community guidelines. We removed the channel. They sent me the email again. And on this one, it said the channel was Chauncey one. So they sent me, how the fuck they gotta send me 2 emails, one of them saying that it was banned and you're not gonna get your channel back. And that channel was my government name. And then the second channel was Chauncey one when they said they were gonna give it back. So this is why I said that they were playing games with me. And that's why you guys see me come back fucking on the 9th. And I was like, oh, I got my channel back because these motherfuckers was playing games, because like they be trolling and shit. And I don't know why the fuck they did that, but because I'm trying to figure out, like, because I don't know why they banned my channel. Like, because I'm thinking, like, is it because of what I was saying? Because I don't be dropping deep esoteric information. So I'm like, why are they fucking with my shit? But like I said, I'm gonna have to just keep it respectful, and I'm gonna have to like tone it down, because I guess I be hurting people's feelings. I guess like because my voice, and I do be hurting people's feelings. Because right when I said that, I just heard a fucking horn. So that's the spirit telling me that that's what it was. Like, because a lot of these people, they got feelings, they got problems. So when you talk shit, and when you talk shit to somebody who's in a position to fuck your channel up, they're gonna obviously play games, or they're obviously gonna troll you, and that's what they're doing to me. So whatever I said, I think it was a combination of what I was saying and what I was doing. So like, I'm not gonna be telling you guys like any more crimes that I've been doing or whatever. I'm not. You guys already know. I'm not gonna be going too far and too deep into. I don't even know really why I was even saying a lot of that shit. Like, at first I just said it at first just to say it, but then like now it's like because they're getting kind of strict with YouTube and shit, and this whole thing is sewed up. Like, anybody who tells you that like that YouTube is some free thing, you just come on and you can just start making money and speaking your mind, they're fucking idiots. Like, YouTube is just like fucking Hollywood. It's the new casting couch. You know how you go to Hollywood and you got to go do auditions, and you got to go talk to a producer, and the producer verifies if you should be on this show. That's how YouTube is. Don't think of it as anything else. This is why they have this is why they have the algorithm. The algorithm is very detailed. Like it's deep the way they have the algorithm. And it's not just, a lot of you guys think that, oh, if you speak spiritual, if you speak against the system, they're gonna not put you in the algorithm. It's deeper than that. Talking about the system and talking about certain things that are like talking about spirituality and astrology and the system, that's part of it. But you can be talking about something something bots talk about. If you're not talking about it in a certain way, if you don't have a certain presentation, if you don't look a certain way and sound a certain way, have a certain energy, they're gonna fuck with your algorithm. So like, this shit is deep. So you got people who watching this shit, and like they be scouring YouTube, and because we're in a time right now where everybody's on the internet, and there's certain narratives that they want to play out so they can add laws, rules, and they can see how people are thinking, so they can know who to put in the office as president and what laws they should pass at what time. Like, it gets deep. So they don't know where to get. The only way for them to get information on how to run their system is by looking on YouTube to see how people talk and act. And then the way I was talking and acting, I guess it upset them. It got them kind of angry. So then that's where they started playing games with me and shit. And it's funny because I asked the spirit, am I gonna get my channel back? The day they banned it, I asked the spirit, am I gonna get my channel back? And it's like, you're gonna get your channel back. That's what it said. And then when they banned my shit on the 4th, when they banned me and sent me the email, I was like, the fuck? I thought I was gonna get my channel back. So at that point, I just forgot about it. I was like, I guess the spirit was wrong or whatever. But the spirit ain't never fucking wrong. I was just sitting there chilling on the 9th. And then all of a sudden, I get an email, you got your channel back. And I'm like, yep, the spirit was right, like always. So this is why it's good to always trust your spirit. Always want to trust your spirit. Your spirit will save your ass. Believe it or not, spirit saved my ass plenty of time. Like, you guys see me back in June of last year when I was running up in those stores and I was still in hella shit. there was a store I was hitting, and I was getting a lot of because I even went on live stream. If you guys don't even remember, I was on live stream and I went and I stole some headphones, and then I came back out, and then I was about to go home, and I was like, I got the wrong I didn't get the wrong headphones. I got the cheap headphones. I got the ones for $130, and then there was another pair there that was 180, and then you guys see me. It's on this channel. If I'll repost the video on it's on my Chauncey One channel. And I was driving home. I was like, I think I might want to get the other ones. And you niggas in the comments was like, don't go back, bro. Don't go back. You tripping. I went back and I was on live and I got the other ones. And I showed you niggas like that back in those days when I was going crazy and shit. That was last Gemini season, last June. I remember it was Gemini season because I don't know, when it comes to Gemini season, Gemini and Sagittarius season is when I be on some crazy shit and I just be on my manic state and I don't give a fuck. So I need to learn how to tame it. I'm preparing myself so this Gemini season I don't go through that bullshit again. But that was the day when I was doing that. And I was throughout from that day all the way to like I'll say October, I was just going crazy. And I remember the spirit telling me like I was going to this one store like almost every day getting shit. And then the spirit told me like slow the fuck down, like don't do it no more. Because I guess they were building an investigation. Like they knew this. What the spirit had told me was like they knew that I was going there. The spirit said don't go no more. Investigation, they looking at you and shit. And I had a whole bunch of dreams where they were like it was a dream where I got caught up and they're like, oh, we know you're stealing. So they were building a case on me. I haven't been to that store ever since that fucking day, which was around like I think it was like October, November is when the spirit started telling me to stop going. So I haven't been back to that shit. So the case that they were building on me, like they can't really do shit because I don't even go there no more. So like this is why it's good to build up this connection, because your spirit will save your fucking ass. It'll literally save your ass. And I'm not saying go out there and do crazy shit. I'm not saying doing that, but I'm just telling you, using this as an example, like this how the spirit will save you. The notice things that he remembered. Yeah, he remembers that. I think you were in the fucking chat and you were the one who told me, if I'm not mistaken. You told me like, hey, you need to don't do it, don't go back, bro. And I went back and I was live when I went back. So you guys see me in action. Like I don't just talk this stuff by talking. And like I said, I'm not gonna be doing any more of that shit. Even if I do, I'm not even gonna be telling you guys, because there's no point of me even like. And I'm gonna have to keep it more respectful. I can't just be going off and cussing, because niggas who run this shit, they get their feelings hurt too. And I guess I upset a lot of people because the way they were playing games on my channel, like I must have offended somebody there, because so like I have to keep it more respectful. But like I still fucking hate this system. Don't get it twisted. Like I hate this system and I don't give a fuck about it. But I'm gonna have to keep it respectfully disrespectful. So I have to be a little bit more passive aggressive in my lingo and how I give the energy and the message across to you guys, because I'm not trying to really do it. And I backed up all my videos. So but when they took down my channel, I didn't back up my videos. But I got a storage. What's it called? You know those cloud storages? I got cloud storage. So I backed up all my videos, and I'm gonna get a hard drive, everything. I'm back that up. So because I had hella videos and all of that shit was gone. Like that's the only thing I was tripping about was those videos. I was like, damn, I didn't back them up. But I don't really, in a way, I don't care, because I'm like a fucking a limitless book. Like I could just start talking and give you guys information. But those are still, I know a lot of you guys like some of those videos and shit. So I was able to back them up just in case anything happens to the channel. But nothing should go wrong, because I'm gonna keep it more respectful, because I'm realizing as YouTube gets older and as time goes on, more and more people are on YouTube. And as more and more people become on YouTube, you're going to start seeing them become more strict, because back like 5-10 years ago, there were certain things that I was able to say and I was able to still go semi-viral. Like I was able to pull like 500 views, 1,000 views, 3,000, 4,000, and I was talking a certain way. But now, since so many people are making money online and we're moving into a new time, we're in the age of Aquarius, they have to be more stringent on like what people are saying on here, because this is like the new TV. This is the new like paid programming broadcasting network like YouTube. So they're more strict. So pretty much if you're a content creator and you got a lot of views, they look at you as like, if you're like that Tucker Carlson or that fucking all those people you see on Larry King and all these other people you see on the news networks and shit. Like they look at you kind of like that. Like if you start talking, if you were somebody and you talked about video games and you had 500,000 subscribers and you were like really, really big. If you start talking the wrong shit, they will attack you. They will fuck with your shit. They will demonetize. This is why a lot of people get demonetized. Like a lot of people like they'll fuck with your demonetization. Like they'll like demonetize you for no reason. Don't think that they just can't demonetize you for no reason. They may even demonetize you for like, they may, if they don't like it, they may demonetize you for like a couple months and then make you go through the ring around the loop and make you keep calling customer support and fucking with you and keep you running around just to give your account back in 2 months. And they may give you your money back, but you still gotta go. They gotta put you through some. So you gotta. This is what like anybody who's going up there. If you're a big content creator and shit, you gotta like even like to see he got a big content. Like if you bringing a lot of shit on your page content and you start speaking a certain way, they gotta fuck with your shit if they don't fuck with you. So you gotta like keep it kind of like on a certain level. I'm not saying you guys gotta like be all straight edge and shit, but because this shit's crazy how they fuck with my shit. But I just wanted to tell you guys what went down because this is not the first time they did this shit to my channel. It's not the first time. They did this. The first time I can remember was when I made that video and they sent me that email talking about they're gonna cap my limit on the views I get or whatever. So like, but it is what it is. I don't really want to keep talking about this stupid ass shit. It's really not even that important. I got my shit back, so I'm good. But I want to talk about something about like, I want to talk about bitches because it seems like it's like the topic of the fucking, I don't know, fucking the day. Everyone keeps talking about females and leaving the country and like how people are having issues with what I'm seeing is I think there's some type of programming and mind control that you're trying to do to make everybody a victim. It doesn't matter what gender, race, class, whatever. They want to make you a victim because I seen this fucking channel of this female and she was pretty much the equivalent of a MGTOW, red pill type nigga, but she was for females. And on all her videos, it will be bashing men, but she'll be bashing men from a female's perspective. Like some of her arguments, which was kind of interesting. I wasn't like bashing her. I didn't leave no hateful comments. I was actually watching the videos because it came to my mind. Like, I feel like the government is trying to make everybody feel like the world is against them. So if you're a female, they got programs that make you feel like the world's against you. If you're a male, programs to make the world feel like it's against you. If you black, even if you're a white, I've seen a video, this nigga talking, and it got thousands of views and people agreeing, like saying how white men are becoming more suicidal and living with their parents and they're upset and they're trying to victimize. Even white men are getting this. You don't think like, are they serious? Like even white men, like you think like black people, we got some shit, but it's a program that I think they're trying to put everyone in to make everyone feel like they're victimized. So I was watching this female's channel and she was talking about how men are violent and how men ain't shit and how men are hitting women and abusing women. And like, she'll have arguments. And if you're in a woman's position, I can kind of see why they will have these arguments. Like, she wasn't completely wrong, but how she was generalizing it, like every man is that's where she was wrong. So I'm looking at it like, what if the MGTOW and the men are like that as well? And that's the issue. Which I'm not saying that they don't have no arguments, because at the same time, there are situations where bitches ain't shit, and I still hold by that. But you guys gotta understand, like, there's some type of like mind control that's going on to make people feel like they're like the victim. So you gotta understand what's going on. But at the same time, there are issues that women have, men have, other people have, and I feel like they're constructed by mind control of the way society is programmed, the way the environment is. Like, for example, a lot of men say they want to go out the country to date women, and it makes sense, because when I watch videos on the internet, or you'll be seeing like just women in public, at least Western women. I'm in America, so like most women are just they're very masculine. They always feel like they gotta say something. But you got to understand, when I say a female is masculine, she's the lower octave of masculine, because a female cannot be a high octave masculine because she's still a female. So if a female acts masculine, she can only play out a bitch nigga masculine energy. So these are women who they'll think that they don't need a man, but then they can't create their own situation. They can only work 2-3 jobs. They can only be a construction worker, or they can only say, I want equal rights to do this or that. They can only be a low octave male. And when a man does too much, then that's what puts them in their femininity. So this is why they can never be a high octave male, because it'll be a female who says, I don't need no man, I can do this all by my own, and she acts masculine. But then if you raise your voice loud enough, then they're gonna feel feminine. They're gonna be like, "Oh, why is this man doing this?" Like, if 3 niggas came up to me and want to fight me, they could jump me and beat my ass, but I'm gonna be in an energy like, okay, let me take them on. Or if they beat my ass, I'm gonna have a different perspective. But if a female is in my position and 3 men are coming after, she's gonna be forced to feel like a female. So she's gonna be like, "Oh, men are attacking me," whereas I'm gonna be like, "All right, these niggas is fucking jumping me." You guys see what I'm saying? So like, this is what I'm saying. Like, and it's even with like the transgender shit, they'll sit there and say, "Oh, men who are transgenders, we need to call them women." That's bullshit. Because if I went to a one of these transgenders men that was a woman and I started beating his ass, he's gonna use his man strength to defend himself. He's not, because I could beat a woman's ass, but if you beat a transgender's ass, he's gonna want to be a man, and he's gonna want to be a man in that moment, because men have strength. So if you're a transgender man and you want to be a female, when I beat your ass, you can't use your man's strength, because that's masculine. You have to use your feet, but they're not gonna do that. They're gonna want to use their. So technically, that's all bullshit. All this acting like feminine acting like men, and all these men who want to be women or whatever, all this, and become their original self, who wants to be a female, or a female who's trying to act like a man. Put them in a certain situation, they gotta be their original biological gender. There's no debating that. I'm telling you, nigga. So all of that shit is bullshit. It's all fake. And a woman could only be a low octave man. They could never be a full man. I don't know what's going on, but they could only be a low octave man. So even no matter how feminine or masculine a female acts, she can only be a low octave man. So even when it goes out there, she can only be like fucking. She can never create her own situation. This is why you don't see no women on YouTube talking about any type of idea, or they can only take what another man has made and build off that and support that. I'm not saying all men create their own, because obviously not, but there's no female I see that's really bringing anything new. When you see even people really bringing anything new, it's always men. Even if it's men you don't fuck with, even if you want to talk about government or people that you don't like, I'm talking about gender. You don't see no females bringing nothing. But yet we have a problem with, because if you're going to be a female that's masculine, at least be one of these, at least be a high octave masculine, which they can't be. So what this leads us is, you see a bunch of females who act masculine, and this is why a lot of men want to move out the country, because in the East, not the West, but the East, the programming is different. Women, they act more feminine, they act more in that nature. So this is why when you move out the country, it seems like it's better, like women are more just better to deal with. Because out here, you got a lot of shit in the food. You got a lot of mind control programming, and how the Western society is, it makes it where women are forced to have to be masculine in a certain way. So this is where develops bitterness, anger, resentment, and women, they express it a lot differently. And then on top of that, they have periods and emotional swings. So when you're dealing with a female who has a period and emotional swing, this is why, like, they're thinking from their emotions. So it's actually dangerous when you have somebody who's trying to be masculine that's still so emotional, because it's like a conflict, because women are always going to be emotional and think irrational. This is why you have a lot of situations where these bitches be taking like fucking, they be taking kids away from the husband, and they'll be getting all these divorces. Like, one thing I notice is you'll see a lot of women who, because when women hit over the age of 30, they start to lose their attraction and their appeal. So a lot of women, when they're young, they want to get married to men. But once they get to a certain age, if they don't get married, men don't want them no more. So they get upset. But at the same time, if men were to marry them, they will be the ones that instigate the divorce, take away the kids, and do all this. And if you look at why they do it, it's over an emotion. It's not over anything logical. Like, there was some bitch who got her ass killed in Las Vegas on the solar eclipse. She got her ass killed, and it was I guess they were having a custody battle or a deposition, and I guess the female was trying to have full custody, and then I guess the guy's fucking dad just blew the fucking bitch's brains out with the husband that she was with, because I guess she was trying to take the kids away from him with another dude. And the lawyer for the, like, it was a weird, messy ass situation. I guess the lawyer who was fighting for the case was like the husband of the wife, and then the on the opposite end, the lawyer trying to get the kids shared custody with the man, he was the fucking son. So like, it was a whole family mess that was going on. And I guess the grandfather, who was like the lawyer of the son who was trying to get custody, he pulled out a gun and killed the bitch and the dude that the dude that she was with, because like the emotions run high. And it's like, now and I'm not saying it's funny, but like the kid, which is the most important thing in this situation, he don't even have a mother or a grandfather, all because, and probably not even a father, because they're not going to let the fucking kids be with the father, because the family killed even though the father didn't do anything, they're not going to give him custody of it. And so now he don't have a father, a grandfather, or a mother, because the bitch got killed over her stupid ass decision. So it's like, and if you look at why she made the decision, I'm willing to bet you it was over an emotional decision. It was something like she just didn't like the man because he pissed her off, and then now is a drastic decision that she made. So this is the problem, like, because the females, they'll make emotional decisions, and then they'll complain why no man wants to get married to them when they can lose. Like, because at this point, like me, I don't want no damn kids, and I don't want to get married. But let's just say you wanted to have kids, you still have to get over that fucking barrier of the bitch might actually get upset and just take your kids. So like, if you even want to have kids, you shouldn't even have kids in America. If you feel like you need to have kids, go out the country. Don't do it in America, because and a lot of women are very cutthroat, because a lot of these bitches, they've been traumatized and have a lot of anger, resentment. You don't know what these bitches been going through. Like, I can look at somebody's face and I can be like, okay, they have a lot of trauma. Over 90% of the females I see out here, they're all traumatized. They have some type of ground. And men nowadays, we express it more. Women, they don't express it. They try to act like, because that's the thing about, like, it's different. Like, women are so masculine now. So when women are going through problems, they keep it concealed. And then they express it through being narcissistic, being bitter, spiteful, and just being just a straight up bitch or a Karen. But it's really a lot of pain and anger that they're dealing with. But since they're masculine, they feel ashamed to express it. This is why you see a lot of these bitches out here that you guys may say are act a certain way. A lot of these bitches are hurt. They've been through, and I'm sick because I've seen it. I look at things and I talk to people, and like, you'll see like certain patterns and train of events that go down. And I'll be like, okay, and I'll see this person and I'll overhear them speaking, or I may talk to somebody they know. And it's like, okay, this person went through this. And then I see how this bitch is acting. And most bitches nowadays, like, it's reverse. Most females, they actually hold their emotions in and express it more bitterly and toxically. And then they project the problem onto men, whereas men, we're more open about it. Like, you got channels like mine that we just speak our mind, because it's kind of backwards now. Like, which it should be, everyone should actually express what's going on. But females, like, they don't really express it. They just express it. They're being very bitter, narcissistic, and angry most of the time. And this is when you deal with Western women. Like all the women I've dealt with foreign, like when I went to London, I went to Nigeria, and then there's a few people, women, girls I met online that I have flown out to before I went to Nigeria. I never had any problems when I went to London years ago. No problems. The women, they're like, they're well, I don't know about now because it's a Western, but when I went there, it was more better than America is what I should say. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's more better than America. When I went to Nigeria, more better than America. And the black females in Nigeria look way better than the black females out here. Like they look way more better out there in Nigeria than they do out here. Especially you go to Africa, they got some fine ass but like they're like a lot more better to deal with. I noticed that. Out here, it's like it's a problem, it's an issue because there's a lot of, you need to understand. I don't want to just say it's about women. 90%, over 90% of people are unhealed and traumatized. This goes beyond women. This is men, women, shit. I'll even probably say some fucking animals. But like men and women are fucked up. So a lot of these bitches out here, what you guys got to understand is when society, they teach men to buckle it up, stop complaining, and you better make a way. You better figure it out. That's how they treat men. So it's good, but it's really not, because this leads to a situation where a nigga drives his fucking family in a Tesla off the fucking cliff and kills them, like something that just happened here a couple years ago. Or the fucking situation in Las Vegas where the nigga blew the bitch's brains out, because men have to just suck it up. But the thing is, it gets to a tipping point. So, and then there's just a story where the nigga, he drove a fucking 18-wheeler big ass truck into a building deliberately because he was upset. And then people look at like, oh, he needs to go to jail. He needs to go to jail, which I'm not saying he shouldn't go to jail, but why don't people look at the root cause? Like, why are people getting this angry to do this shit? And when you say this, people look at you like you're in support. No, I'm not in support. He needs to go to jail. But what needs to happen is we don't need any future victims. We don't want somebody to get hurt tomorrow over something. So why don't we fix the root problem right now so tomorrow somebody doesn't get hurt? So we don't have to deal with another situation. Why just deal with it when it comes up and just throw them in jail? Even though you're going to be throwing them in jail, you can't bring somebody's life back. So a lot of these situations you see happen mainly by men, because they get put to a lot of these men can't control themselves. They may not be on a spiritual path. They may not know certain techniques such as healing or yoga, fasting, qigong, all these things that help regulate the emotions so they don't go to that tipping point. And not only that, they program society to make it look like these health modalities are bullshit. So most men look at it like from an agnostic point of view, like who gives a fuck? It doesn't work, or it's just some crazy magical bullshit fairy tale crap. So they don't do shit, and then when it gets to a problem, instead of actually healing and working on the issue, they just let it get to that tipping point where they just spaz the fuck out. Now we have a bunch of bitter ass angry people who may end up going and shooting everybody, doing something that is gonna hurt. You see what I'm saying? And this is all stems because they just say you gotta just make a way, suck it up, and make a way. And this is why you have a lot of people out here committing crimes, robbing people. They don't have no sympathy, and people get victimized every fucking day. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to women, and I've even seen this within my family, like I'll have a problem and oh, you need to go deal with it. But there'll be other people in my family that are female, worse problem than me, and they'll get more catered to. But then the issue with that is you can't run away from the universe. You can't run away from yourself. So if they do this to women and make them feel that they're somehow, they can get catered to and taken care of and everything's good. But what this leads to is women projecting their problems on the world. This is why you every time when you see most of these bitches out here that are just fucked up, they always blame the man, or they always point the finger. They never take responsibility. And this is dangerous because every human being needs to heal their trauma and their wounds to actually outgrow it and become that butterfly or become that greater version of self. Everybody has to do that shit. And if you don't do it voluntarily, the universe will create if you don't do it voluntarily, the universe is going to create situations that's going to make it where that shit fucking happens to you. So this is why I'm not saying this is good, but this is why you see women, they get raped, they get robbed, they get beat, they go through certain situations. Even their trauma may go on to their children, where the female may have to experience her children getting molested, and then she has to go through that trauma. A lot of this shit they attract and manifest because they don't want to do the work. So the universe has to put something in their life to fuck their mind up, to get them to focus on self, because nobody's taught them that they need to work on it. Because if you don't work on yourself voluntarily, situations will manifest. A lot of the, most of them, when you guys go down the street and you see people get in car accidents, you see people get shot, you see people, kids get molested, all the fucked up shit you see. When you see these things, these are lessons that people are supposed to go through to learn from. This is not just random shit just fucking happening most of the time. These are things that people are supposed to go through and grow from it and evolve from it. And society has made it where these things, when you go through it, you're supposed to be a victim. This is why every time you watch the news, they talk about the victim this, the victim that, but they never tell you the backstory of what the victim was doing that led up to that. Somebody got shot and killed. Well, I want to know what that person was doing in the life he was living. A lot of these people they show on the news that get shot and killed, they have to paint the perspective like the victim was this and that, and it was only the suspect. Whereas, like, no, you manifest that, because there's people who don't go through those situations. Or even if you go through that situation, there's people who've gone through that situation and survived. Just like there's people who gotten cancer and they've eaten healthy and they changed their life and they became on their spiritual path and they got rid of it. But then there's people who go through cancer, they shave all their fucking hair, look fucking raggedy and bald-headed and complain, and oh, I'm sick, I'm throwing up, and then they want people to give them wear a little ribbon. Oh, to say, oh, I have cancer, it's cancer month. But it's like, why identify with that? Why not you just better your life, change your life, and don't identify it? But they have to do that to keep people stuck in that box, to keep people so they can be a victim, so they don't heal and grow. Because if you don't heal and you don't grow, you become an energy source for the system, for these corporations, where they can make money off you and drain your energy and keep you in that victim state so you can give them your energy. And we're going into a time right now where energy is transforming how they get it. So now energy is more in clicks and views. So the more depressed and miserable you can get, the more they can make money off you being on the internet, clicking and viewing other people who are making money off your clicks, views, and attention. Because we're going into a different time where labor and energy is all transformed into the digital world, where clicks, views, and your attention is the currency. Now they can make money off that. So if you're depressed and miserable and you're not taking care of yourself, you're just going to be clicking and viewing and giving energy to all these bullshit fucking clubs and things that people identify with, like this cancer month, like it'll be a cancer ribbon and it's pink. But it's like, why even identify and wear that fucking shit if you could just heal yourself and move on with that part of your life, and then probably be in a position to help those other people heal? They don't want that shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys got to know what the fuck is going on here. And then with the women, they from a young age, they get these women, the girls, and they make them feel like they're more special than a boy, and they're protected more, and you can't complain, which I get it, but they gotta understand, like, men actually build and protect this shit. If you're looking at it like masculine and feminine, they actually build and protect this shit. And if you just push the men aside and say fuck you, you leave a situation like Gen Z, where Gen Z doesn't want to participate, they don't want to work no more, they don't want to do shit, they don't mind staying at home. They say more men stay at home with their parents than women. That's what they said. And don't think women got their shit together, because most of these bitches out here, they're not, they may not be living at home as much, but most of these bitches, they're on TikTok complaining how they can't get a man, and how they got to take care of 3-4 kids, and how the wages aren't keeping up with inflation, and how I'm over 30 and I want to get married. Like, so these women ain't doing shit. They taking L's too. It's different. So you see what I'm saying? This is crazy. And this is all a result of them making it and not equalizing the respect between the genders, like making it work. I understand men need to go and do their shit, but at the same time, women don't need to be over catered to compared to men. They don't need that shit. That because this is gonna lead to a situation where you have a lot of men having a lot of disdain for women and not giving a fuck about them, and then it's like a lot of women right now, they feeling themselves, they in their ego, they're like, oh, I don't need no man, I don't need this. But a lot of these women right now, they're young, because in about 20-30 years, majority of society is gonna be old. They call it the Great Tsunami, I think. That's the term the Masons call it. It's gonna be a situation where majority of people are gonna be old. So at that point, they're going to try to start doing things to depopulize people, because they don't like old people, because old people get sick, they can't work, and they're no good. So by that time, hopefully, not hopefully, but in their perspective, hopefully they should probably have some virtual reality where all the old people could just sit in their house and be on virtual reality and not have to move around so much. So this is kind of the reason they're going to be releasing virtual reality in the future, because by the time they release virtual reality, most people are going to be too old to be doing physical labor. So it's going to come just at a time. So, but the thing is though, fuck, I forgot where I was going at. But with the women and shit, like when they get, oh yeah, I remember. When they get older, age 35, this is when they start losing their prime like that. So a lot of these women are gonna start regret. A lot of the women right now that are like talking shit on men and doing all this thing, and we got to go out the country to find something that's reasonable. And I'm not saying don't deal with no female here. Like if you want to just fuck a bitch brains out and just use her for that one thing, then go ahead and do it. But as far as taking it serious and getting married with a relationship, don't fuck with any bitches in America. Just use them for fucking that one thing, and that's it. And have fun and just use them for that one thing. That's it. But if you want to take it further, go out the country for that. Don't do it with anybody in America, because if you fuck around and have kids with any bitch in America, and I'm not like, if you find somebody in America that's obviously like you can relate to and you really on some spiritual shit and it's really, then I'm not saying just go and forget that, but the odds of you meeting that is very slim. Like these bitches out here are they're damaged, and a lot of them will be in their 20s and early 20s, mid 20s, and then they have this chip on their shoulder and ego, but they don't understand once they hit that Saturn return at 28, 29, 30, once they hit that shit, they're gonna start feeling regret. Like I was selling my food stamps and I met this guy, and this one crackhead nigga, he hooked me. I told this crackhead dude, hook me up. If you find somebody that could buy my food stamps, I'll give you $5. So he found somebody for me. I met up with the dude, and he has a friend, and it's a female friend, but they're not going out. It's a black lady and a black woman, a black man, a black woman. They're not going out, but they're friends. And I'm like, why are they friends? Like, it's weird to see friends and they're not going out. And then I was talking to her because we were in the store and I was waiting for her to get the food. And she was like, I really like this man, but I ended up ruining. She's in her early 40s, late 30s. And she's like, we were dating in high school. We were high school sweethearts, and I broke up. I put this on everything. Put this on my soul, everything. This is what she said. She's like, I broke up with him over a stupid mistake because he talked to a girl and it wasn't that serious. But it's like, I wish I didn't do it because I wanted to really date him. But like, she's not dating him because he moved on. And she said this, and I feel like I manifested this situation because I have Pisces in the 7th house. So whatever I talk about people and shit, I manifest it in situations in life because I have Pisces in the 7th house. So it's easy for me to manifest certain situations with people, whether it be blissful or horrible situations. I can manifest it because it's easy for me. So, and I can also read people. So it's like the spirit manifested me this shit. And then the lady was talking to me how she dated the guy at high school and they were high school sweethearts and everything, but she broke up with the guy because over something stupid. And then she was like, I regret breaking up with him. I want to date him again. And then in my mind, I'm like, this is what most women are going to be experiencing. She's in her late 30s, early 40s. And she looks young too, because she's black. You know, we black people, we don't look that old. But like, so she still looked like kind of good and all. She wasn't ugly, but she could have stood with this dude. And when I seen the dude looked like he got his shit together. He looked like somebody who was respectable. And she probably left like most men out here, like women saying shit. He was one of those men, like I could see like he had his shit. He wasn't no like player or anything like that. He was somebody who was respectable. He wasn't on no bullshit. And like I'm like in my mind, like she just fucked that shit up. And now she's single and she has kids. And she's like, I want to ask him out, but I don't know. And then this and that. And in my mind, I'm like, she just fucked it up. So like, this is how a lot of these females are gonna be. And they don't understand that, because a lot of you have to go through certain experiences in life to learn certain things, and certain things you can't tell people. They just gotta learn by themselves. That's why some people sometimes they need to get shot. So they need to get hit, slapped in the face, because that them being shot or slapped in the face is what woke them up. So in her case, her making that mistake woke her up. But now it's probably too late for her. Maybe she could find somebody else, but I don't want to say it's too late, but it's crazy how she have to learn the hard way. And this is the example I'm saying, like most women are going to be going through. This shit is crazy. And like, you see social media out here, social media is like making it worse. Social media is making it worse. Social media is making it work. People that, because in real life, everybody goes through problems. Nothing is perfect. So I will see men on social media, because people will talk about high value men or whatever, which whatever the fuck that means. Like, I don't really see no high value anything, because even these type of people that will consider themselves high value, or other people will say they're high value, when I look at their life, most of these niggas is single. Most of these niggas, if they have women, they fucking about 3-4 women that they don't fucking give a fuck about. They don't have nobody that could hold them down. And there was just one nigga society will consider, because I don't consider nobody high value, because if you consider somebody high value, that means you consider somebody low value. So it's like, it's all perspective. But according to society, there's this one dude, he's a crypto millionaire. He has a YouTube channel. I was watching his shit because when I was looking up my crypto thing, looking up tips, and this nigga was talking about how a female was fucking holding his kids, and how I gave the world to this female, I gave her money. And this nigga was a crypto millionaire. This nigga had Bentleys, Lamborghinis, like he was driving some exotic shit, living in some nice shit. He got nice things. That's all I can say. He wasn't like somebody who just makes 6 figures, or he has like $2-3 million. And like, he was a nigga who got, like, you could tell he probably had like 8 figures, like over 50 million. He was that type of money right there. He's talking about how a bitch is holding his kids away from him, how he gave her the world and she's playing games and he got to pay child support. And I'm like, people will consider him a high value, but he's having problems. And even when I see these other men that seem like what society would say is high value, a lot of these niggas are complaining how women ain't shit. They have fucking channels talking about how women ain't shit. And then they'll be talking about how to get a woman to be attracted to you. But they don't got no solid bitch in their life. They only got bitches that they can just fucking leave, because they can't trust no one, because they got themselves into a position, whereas they got so much success that anybody that comes in their life, this is why it's good to, if you want to find somebody, which like, if you want to be with somebody, it's better to be somebody when you're on your way to the top. You never want to get your shit together and then find somebody, because you're going to start developing that energy of where the fuck you come from. It's like, I'm at a point right now where if I wanted to, I couldn't find nobody, because where I'm about to go, where I'm at, and all the shit I've been through, if somebody were to come in my life right now, it will be like, you're only coming into my life because my shit's together. And that's good and all, because a lot of these pickup artists will say, you want to get your shit together and then attract the woman. That's backwards, because by the time you get your shit together, you're going to attract the woman, right? But she's going to be on some bullshit. She's going to be somebody who's a vampire. She's just going to only like you for your money. So I'm not saying don't deal with women, but this is why you have situations where you have a lot of these niggas out here with money having issues with women, or they just fucking women and playing them. And like, it's like, you leave them no point. Because if I've been through hell and I was broke, I didn't have nothing, and I became the top, how can I have any respect for any female, to be honest, that it wasn't there with me? And you weren't there with me because I didn't have shit. But now that I have shit, how can I give a fuck about you for anything other than just sex? It makes no fucking sense. So this is why you want to get your shit together while getting up there. And this goes for anything, like not even just women, just anybody in general. You want to get your shit together while getting up there. Like, because you're going to manifest it. This is what I tell you. It's lonely at the top. They tell you it's lonely at the top because by the time you get to the top, it's not that nobody wants to fuck with you. It's that all the people that want to fuck with you, where the fuck you come from? I didn't see you back in the day when I was doing this, but why all of a sudden I got all these nice things and now I see you just happen to appear here like on some magical shit. Get the fuck out of here. And this is what leads to a situation like where you use what you got and you start doing some nature boy shit. Men will either not deal with people or they'll be on some nature boy shit where they use what they got to manipulate people who are traumatized and who they perceive less than them. And this leads to narcissism in the man, womanizing, all this other shit that society so-called hates, but yet society is structured in a way to create men to be like this. You see what I'm saying? This is why I say this is why divorces are really high, especially amongst rich people. This is why any of you guys out there who have children, and if you have children and you watching my video and the bitch is putting you on life support, open up an this is why it's good to have your own business and make your own money and not have to work for the system. Because if you have your own business, you can open up an LLC, open up your own business, and all your income, all your earned income that you get from your business, I don't even think it's called earned income. It's called something, but all the money you make from your business, it goes in your business name. So when the government looks up your social security number and say, how much money does he make? They're only checking your government name. They're not checking your business. So you can be broke on paper. Polite, the nigga who went to jail, that they falsely accused him of that raping that one bitch, Polite said on paper, I am broke. This is the same nigga with Lamborghinis with fucking 4 or 5 mansions and shit, flossing money, fucking $500,000 Rolex watch, whatever, that Richard Mille shit. That same nigga said, I am broke on paper. He never talked about no child support because he had his bitches in check where they didn't pull that bullshit. But he's like, I am broke on paper. If they would have tried to get child support on him, they couldn't get it. I'm not saying like completely be broke. Make it where you pay, your company pays your government name $1,500 a month. So you may be a millionaire on YouTube. They see you with all this nice shit, but that's all your business shit. On paper, when the government sees how much you make, it's gonna be $1,500. That $1,500 you just put in your little personal bank account in your government name, so the government can say, "Oh, he's making $1,500. I'm gonna give this bitch $400 a month." So you making like $100K a month, and the bitch only gets $400 a month. That's how you play these stupid bitches. This is why it's good to have your own business and be free and not have to work these 9 to 5. So you can do, if something like that happens where a bitch wants to play games with child support, you can save yourself some money and not have to be in that shit. So and this is why a lot of men, they end up going broke and having financial issues because they don't know shit like that. And then the women takes all the bitches. She doesn't do nothing but sit on her ass. And then, God forbid, your fucking child asks for a PlayStation 5 or a fucking hoverboard or something that fucking kids like to do. The bitch will be like, why do you need that PlayStation? Why shut your stupid ass up. What the fuck you mean why you need it? It ain't even your money, bitch. You need that fucking expensive ass dusty weave on your head that costs like $800 you got at the fucking Chinese shop. You can get that, but the kid can't get fucking a PlayStation with money that isn't yours. You want to sit there and be stingy with the fucking money that ain't even fucking yours, you didn't even work for? And I'm not saying like the bitch shouldn't get anything, but you don't gotta hold out on the fucking kid. The kid should be getting most of that money than your stupid ass. That money should be going towards the rent and for food for the most part. All the shit your stupid ass wants to do, bitch, you can go and make your own money for that. That's why they need to change that whole child support shit. I don't know why the fuck they have it like this. Fucking retarded. Like, why don't they make it work? You pay the state money, and then the state pays the rent, the food, the clothing for the kid, or they give vouchers or some shit, or the money goes to the rent. Like if you pay the bitch $10,000, it goes to the state. The state pays the rent automatically. Just like they have the public housing where you pay half and the government pays half. It's something like that, but then you pay the state and the state pays for the rent for where the bitch is staying at. Like they should have it built like that. They pay for the food. Let me read some of these comments. I'm gonna drop a link if any of you guys got anything to say. Hold on, let me drop this link. What's good, Chauncey One? Congrats on getting your old channel back. I'm happy for it. It's crazy. Like the day my shit got took it net, I asked the spirit, like I asked the spirit, I'm like, am I gonna get my channel back? The spirit told me, like, don't even trip, you gonna get it back. They sent me that fucking email on April 4th. They sent me, oh, you watch the beginning of this live stream, and I laid down exactly what happened. They sent me the email on April 4th, and it was like, you will not be getting your channel back. But the channel they had in the email was not Chauncey. It didn't say Chauncey One. It said my government name. I've never opened up a fucking channel with my government name. So why the fuck did they send me an email saying you're not going to get your channel back? And the name of the channel was my government name. That doesn't make any sense. So they were trolling me. And then like the spirit, because I asked the spirit the day my channel got taken down, like, am I going to get my channel back? The spirit's like, don't trip, you're going to get it back. When they sent me that email, I was like, damn, the spirit was wrong. Like I was kind of doubting. So I just let it go. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I just made a new channel, did my thing. And then like on April 9th, I got an email saying, we figured your channel wasn't, we just realized your channel followed community guidelines. We put your channel back up. My bad for the mess. They sent me the email and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, for real. Somebody said they play. Yeah, they were trolling me. They were trolling me. That's what they were doing, because I've never opened up a fucking, you guys never seen a YouTube account with my face on it with my government name. You guys never seen it, because in order for them to ban that channel and it had my government name, that means there had to been a YouTube channel with my government name, and you guys would have known my government name right now with my face on it saying something that was against the guidelines. And I would have had to done it. I would have had to have 3 strikes on that channel. So not 1 strike. I would have had to have a warning, 1 strike, 2 strikes. So you guys would have been know my government name. But how the fuck did they send me an email saying this channel was is banned and you can't get this channel back, and the name of the channel was my government. It was my government name. Then they sent me an email with the Chauncey One, with Chauncey One as the channel name, and saying, oh, we reviewed the appeal and it doesn't break community guidelines. So they were just trolling me. They just sent me a little spoof email, and then they put like fucking it was a real YouTube email, but they just put my government name in there. And then they sent me the real one with Chauncey One, and they said you got it back. So they were just fucking with me. So they be watching this shit. They be watching this shit, which makes sense, because they need to, because where else are they going to come up with how to really push their narratives and push society in the direction they want it, even to all the way down to who they're going to have for president this year. They have to look on YouTube and see us talking and see, okay, who are we going to choose for president? Are we going to choose this? Are we going to choose Biden? Should we have Trump? Because they make the decision, like, depending on what they feel is necessary is what they will choose. So like, especially since it's an election year and a lot of other things are going on, they have to be looking at this shit so they can see where the people's minds at, so they can make their decision on who's president, what laws they should pass, when they should pass these laws, what they should do, or if somebody, like they had that one female who they said kill her kids or whatever, that was another fucking narrative that they used. The fact that they were so quick to tie astrology to her killing, it shows you that they watching this shit. They watching everybody's shit. They were watching her shit before she even so-called committed all these things, which I'm not saying she didn't do it, but I don't give a fuck about that, because the fact that they're using it as a narrative, I don't care what happened. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but people die every day. I'm not going to be distracted by that shit. I'm looking at the root cause, and the fact that they were even tie astrology to that shit, which had nothing to do with that. They're just trying to trying to tarnish the name with the astrology to make it look like it's wicked or it's evil, because they want to pass laws where you can't speak spiritual shit. They're trying to make it where people speaking like me, they're trying to get me out of here. Like they hate the fucking way I talk. They hate this shit. That's why they trying to put pass laws and shit. So pretty soon it'll be illegal for me to talk like this. So they can just take the fucking whole channel down like that easily, without having to play no games and shit. Yeah, they are playing some fucking psyop shit, but like I said, I'm gonna have to keep a little bit more respectful. I can't go too hard because like when I told you guys I get disrespectful, I wasn't lying to you guys. Like I get really, really disrespectful. Like you guys thought I was playing, like I wasn't. Like so I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit. I can't really go on. Like I know you guys think that shit is funny, and it is funny, but I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit. I'm still gonna speak my truth and like fuck this system, but I'm gonna have to tone it down a little bit because these motherfuckers they getting butthurt, and I'm just trying to get my message out, really. See, that's why I wasn't tripping as much because no lie, they were holding your channel back. They were, and they banned me on a private video. You guys understand? Remember I privated all those videos? This video that they got me on, I made in October 2022. I remember I made that fucking video October 2022. So it was part of my how the fuck what I think they did was they probably unprivated that video for a quick second on their end. They probably unprivated it, and then they ran the system where it fucking it flagged it or some shit. I don't know what the fuck happened, but or maybe they just took it because it was weird how that shit happened. So at this point, these people behind the scenes exposed. Yeah, because we're in a new time right now, and as people keep waking up, then they're gonna have to start showing their hand more. Yeah, but I'm back though. My other channel, I'll be back on the 22nd on the other channel, Chauncey one, the original one. But I'm gonna be live on this channel for you niggas. I'm gonna be live on this channel for you guys until I get on that one. Then once I get on that other channel, then I'll be back to original programming and shit. I'm actually glad I'm building this channel up. Kind of glad I'm glad I'm building this channel up because it's good to have multiple channels. You don't want to just have one channel. Damn, I'm hella sweating and shit. It's getting hella hot and shit, man. Damn. Getting hella hot. But yeah, we live in some crazy ass fucking times right now, man. Like shit's just getting like it's crazy. I remember some fucking old fucking on the solar eclipse. I remember that day, man. I remember like everyone's all looking up at the star. They had these glasses and shit. Like I made sure on that day to not look up at the sky. Like anytime I see everybody doing something, I automatically do the opposite. So like that day, I made sure to stay my ass inside the house all day, every day. like that day, I was inside all day on that fucking day. I did not even leave the house. I was like, I'm staying my ass in bed all day. I just chilled that fucking day in the house on the solar eclipse. Yeah, and I remember there was this one old ass fucking this stupid old ass bitch, man. I forgot what it was like a week ago. It was this old ass lady. I was going to the library, right? And then this stupid bitch, right? She walks in front, like she's walking really, I'm behind her, and she's walking extremely slow. And I'm like, why is this bitch walking so slow? So I try to overtake her. Not out of any disrespect, just because I'm like, she's probably old and she's just walking slow, whatever. And when I say, oh, this bitch could have been your grandmother. So I'm not just talking shit, being rude and disrespectful. She was literally in her late 70s. And she looked like she wouldn't look senile, but she was just walking really slow. So I was like, she's probably just old. Let me just walk in front of her. I walk in front of her. As I'm trying to walk in front of her, this bitch starts picking up the pace. So I don't think anything of it. I just start walking normal because I'm not trying to like cut her off right away. So She keeps walking normal, and then as I like go behind her, because I don't want to walk right next to her. I'm not walking right next to you. Like either you go in front of me or I'm gonna go in front of her. So I go behind her. She's still walking slow. So I try going ahead of her again. She starts picking up the pace. So in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I still don't think anything of it. So I go behind her. She's walking slow. So then I do it again. And then she's still walking and she's still picking up the pace as I try to overtake her. So I just I don't push her, but I just force my way in front of her. I didn't touch her at all. I just put my way in front of her and like, because you know how people try to be passive aggressive and they try to do things passively. Like me is, if I see you try to be passive aggressive and I'm trying to obtain a certain outcome and you're being passive aggressive to try to make me not obtain that, I'm just going to be aggressive and just make my way to what I want to do respectfully. So as she's playing these mind games, I just literally just run in front of her and just go in front of her. And then she says something to me. I don't know what she said, but I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out the way. I yelled at because I'm like, and I was like, you're too old to be playing these games, because she's like playing these little kid games. And that's what pissed me off. I'm like, bitch, you somebody's grandmother. I didn't say this, bro. I just said, get the fuck out the way. You too old to be playing these games. That's all I said. But in my mind, I'm like, how you old enough to be somebody's grandmother and you playing these games, and then you have the audacity to get disrespectful and loud when I overtake you where you're not walking fast, but when I try to walk in front of you, you speed up. So I just ran in front of her, and I just went in, like, I didn't run, but I walked hella fast and just went in front of her. Like, you know how you merge in traffic, but you don't hit them, you just drive fast, you just cut them off. I just cut her ass off hella quick, because we were about to go inside the library and the door is pretty narrow, and I'm not going in behind her. If I can't go in front of you, bitch, I'm gonna just force my way in front. So I just ran. I sped up hella fast, because when I was walking, she started speeding up, but I fucking like damn near sprinted and ran just so I could get in front of her. And then she said something, and I was like, bitch, get the fuck out the way. You're going too slow. And then I just walked off. And I'm like, these fucking people be playing too many games. Like, you too old to be playing. It pissed me off because, like, she's like somebody's grandma and she's playing these fucking bot games. Like, are you fucking serious? And she has the audacity to say something. I wish I heard what she said. I don't know what she said. I think she said something like, oh, like, I don't know what the fuck she said. Like, this bitch is like fucking retarded. I'm like, you too old to be doing this shit. It's fucking crazy. Like, people are just insane. And I remember I told you guys that people be fucking I be manifesting situations in my fucking life because I have a Pisces in the 7th house, so it's easy for me when I talk about certain things. I be manifesting it. Tell me why. Remember I told you guys like how the women, the certain women of certain classes, they like to do things with children and shit like that. Tell me why I was in the Barnes and Noble library, right? I was at the mall, and I seen this fucking kid. He looked like he could be like 9 years old. He goes up. I'm assuming this was his mother, because she looked like she was his mother, and she was talking to him like his mother. The kid, like 8, 9, goes up and grabs the mother's ass and starts laughing and shit. Like, grabs it like in a sexual way. And I'm all like, what the fuck? And the mother doesn't say shit. And I'm like, wow, I wasn't wrong. And I remember I seen this fucking comment on YouTube. It was like, some of you mothers be doing sexual things with your sons, and nobody wants to speak about this shit. And it had hella likes, and it was about a certain race. I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to get this channel banned, but it was a certain race, and the same race that I witnessed it was the same race I seen in a comment. This was like a year ago. I seen a comment saying a lot of you people of this be doing this to your sons, and you think it's normal because you didn't have a relationship with your husband like you wanted, so you find it in your son or whatever, and you be mad and you be doing this shit, and nobody wants to talk about it. Tell me why this comment got like 500 likes, because obviously people within that same demographic believe that was true. And tell me why I seen this shit at the fucking library. I think it's like 9 years old. The mom had a fat ass too. Like, her ass was kind of like fat too, and he grabbed it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I'm telling you niggas, like, when I be saying this shit, I'm not lying. Like, you niggas think I'm lying, and I'm just fucking just capping and shit. I'm not. No, like, I'm a very keen. I have like a 6th house stellium. Like, so I'm extremely detailed. Well, that's why I've gotten a lot of arguments, because I have a Mercury in the 8th house and I have a 6th house stellium. So I'm very deep. I be observing and saying things that nobody really wants to say, like the elephant in the room or something. Like I be really detailed and shit into things. Like I remember I got hella fucking almost in trouble at Job Corps because there was this white dude. He was dating this white girl. The girl looked like a fucking dyke, and the dude looked like a female. And I was like, the dude is probably secretly gay, but not all the way. And the female's a lesbian, but she's not all the way straight. So like they found the perfect match. Hella people started laughing and shit. And I guess they found out, and then they told the fucking supervisor, and then I got in trouble and shit and got written up. Oh, you're bullying people. Yeah, like, and then people were like, that shit, that everyone was all laughing and shit, because that shit was true. Like the dude looked like it was a dude and a girl dating. The dude looked like a female, and the girl looked like a dyke, like a man. I'm like, they both halfway gay, but they're not all the way there. So like they found the perfect match because they're confused, but they didn't know what to date, so they just met halfway. Like, and then everyone was all laughing at them, and then somebody I guess told them, said that I said it, and then they snitched on me and shit. And like certain things you just can't say because people get hella upset. Because me, I get very I can get very vulgar in my words, and I be saying things that don't need to be said. And I realize like sometimes when some things just don't need to be said. That's why like nowadays I'm a lot better at it. I don't say everything. I just observe life. Life is very weird. Life is very weird and very people just like to talk about the surface level of life, which is just the mundane and it's the regular. But once you start peeling back the layers and start getting deep, then that's when you go too far, and people don't like that. And that's what every aspect in life. Some things you just can't say. Alex Bowman said, I was not gonna lie, I was screaming at that joke. Oh yeah, I remember I told you guys this on my last live stream. For real. I'm like, they halfway gay, both of them, but they're not fully there yet. So they met the perfect match. And then somebody had to fucking open their mouth. Oh, this is what he said. And they said my name. I don't want to tell you guys my name. You guys probably already know my name, some of you guys. I don't know. I just don't. I don't say my name because I fucking hate my government name. I don't give that shit. The only time I use that government name if I'm about to do business with this system. If I'm about to sign a check, then I'm whatever it says. I'm on that check, nigga. Give me my motherfucking money. But if I don't have to disclose my name, that's not me. I don't know who the fuck that person is. That name's only being dealt with business. Yeah. That shit was fucking hilarious though. But what's good with everyone, man? I dropped the link if anybody wants to join. Just speak your piece, whatever. Ask questions. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not it seems like a lot of you niggas think I'm like you guys look at my videos and because you guys don't know me in real life. Like I'm actually one of the nicest people that ever. I'm actually one of the nicest people. It's just people are very evil and mean. Because me, I'm a Pisces, so I'm a mirror. And subconsciously and subconsciously, I'm a mirror. So I reflect what needs to be reflected back to an individual. And I have it in the 7th house. So Pisces in the 7th house, I'm a mirror in relationship. So if somebody's a dickhead, then I reflect that back to them. If somebody's a nice person, I reflect it back to them. And since I have a strong spirit, I reflect it greater than what they can reflect it. That's why, like every time when I was young and I was at home and people would talk shit to me and it will be okay. But when I talk shit, I get in trouble because I have a stronger spirit. So my words are more impactful. Like you guys, if you guys are at home and you living with family and you're like, why do I get in trouble? But then what I do is because you're a stronger spirit. When you do something, it's more impactful. It's more powerful. They feel it more and it triggers them more. It angers them because you're a powerful spirit. All these other people, they weak ass spirits. So when they do it, it's not really as impactful. So one thing about me is I mirror a lot of people. So this is why I can't be around certain individuals, because if I'm around certain individuals, it may bring out a part of me where I may have to end up doing something like that I don't want to do, but based on me being around that person, I end up doing something. That's why I can't hang around. Like me, I can never join no gang. I can never join a gang. First of all, if I join a gang, I'll probably be the first one to get caught up. First of all, I'll probably end up the first one to get caught up, or I'll be killed by the gang because I don't like to follow rules. So I'll end up doing something where I end up getting killed by the gang, or I end up getting caught up because I'll become very, very brutal. I'll be like the word, because whatever I do, I'm hard at it. Like I remember I seen this crack. Whatever you do, you have to be hard at it. So if I was in a gang, I'd be probably the most toughest motherfucker, and I end up going to jail quick, or I end up getting killed because I end up making so many enemies. So like certain things I can't be around. That's why even when I see crackheads on the street, I seen this one crackhead nigga, and he was, every time I see this nigga, he's always like waving his head, and just that nigga, I respect that. Out of all the crackheads, I respect him the most, because I seen this nigga for 6 months. And if I see a crackhead for 6 months, and every time I see him, he's high out of his mind and he's having a good time, I'll give him $1 more so than the crackhead I see for 6 months and he's just depressed and looking miserable. I'm not saying it's not good to be happy at that. You want to be happy at that situation, but if you're going to be a miserable crackhead for 6 months of your life and not do nothing about it, you might as well just be happy and accept the fact. Why be depressed for 6 months and not use that depression to propel yourself out of that situation? You might as well just accept the fact. So when I see the crackhead having a good time, he's always in a good mood, he's laughing, he always wants to talk, I respect it. The other motherfucker, he all like has an attitude and shit, looking at me weird. Fucking, I remember I asked for the directions to get somewhere. One of them had an attitude with me. And I'm like, bitch, don't have no fucking attitude with me. Fuck you. And like motherfuckers like that, I don't help. But the motherfucker, when I see him, he's always in a good mood. He's always look like he's having a fucking good time and he's high at his mind. Like motherfucker like that, I respect that shit more. Because whatever you do, you got to go hard at it. That's one thing I'm about. If you want to be whatever, just go hard at it. You might as well. Don't fucking like half-ass anything. Just go hard at whatever you do. You're gonna be spiritual, go hard at it. You're gonna be a crackhead, go hard at it. Be the nigga who gets the most fucking dope and you the highest and you having a good time like that other nigga. I respect that more than the motherfucker who's complaining and he's a weak ass crackhead. Well, nigga, if you don't want to be a crackhead, then go be something better and be the best at that. Don't sit there and be a half-ass crackhead and act like you better than being a crackhead. And 6 months later, I see you still in front of the same gas station. What the fuck were you doing? You didn't use that anger and that resentment for being a crackhead to make yourself better? I don't respect you. You worse than that other nigga. At least this nigga, he's having a good time as a crackhead. He spent 6 months having a good time at being a crackhead. You spent 6 months being miserable as a crackhead. When both of you niggas die, he's gonna live a better life. Even though both of you niggas is crackheads, he was having more fun. He was in a better mood. Like when I see a crackhead, I go to the store and they open the door for me. I'll give that motherfucker $5 because you don't have to open the door. You could be somebody angry and bitter and be like, fuck all these niggas. I'm gonna and have a bad attitude. But no, you have a good attitude, and then that's how I'll help that motherfucker like that. Because they're not looking at it from a perspective like, oh, like a victim perspective. And like if you want to look at it from a victim, at least use that anger to better yourself. Don't just sit there and just be resentful and shit. I hate that fucking energy. I can see that shit. That shit gets me so irritated. I hate seeing people, because like me, like I said, I have a Pisces in the 7th house. So I'm so good at reading energy. I remember my brother years ago told me, like, how do you know what people to not deal with? Every time, because he's a Libra sun. So he wants to be friends with everybody. He's like a people pleaser. He likes to compromise, and he kind of makes a mistake thinking that everybody's his friend. And he'll get in relationships and then things won't work out. Whereas me, I can foresee the future because I have Pisces in the 7th house dealing with relationships. So if I see somebody, 9 times out of 10, I can be like, not even at this point, 10 times out of 10, because of just the way the world is right now. I can see where hanging out with this person or starting a late relationship with this person, male or female, will lead me based upon their actions. I just hear them talk, what they're about, their facial expressions, how they move, all of that. How they move, their facial expressions, the tone that they have, how they look in the eyes. If I can see if they need healing, if they're traumatized, if they've worked on themselves, or I can tell all of that shit. And if you are not healed, I can't deal with you, because if I be cool with you, it's going to be a problem that will manifest, because when you're not healed as an individual and you want to use external things such as people, places, and things to want to better to try to mask what you haven't healed, it's going to play out. This is why if you see all these people on YouTube that say, oh, I'm lonely, I can't find friends. 99% of these people who talk about they're lonely, they can't find friends. And I'm not talking about hating on any of you guys in this channel, but I'm telling you guys some truth. Most of those people, like, they'll say, oh, I wish I could find somebody who I can relate to, but most of the time you really don't. Because if you were to find somebody that you relate to, not even, first of all, you will never find nobody that you relate to if you're in that mindset. You're only going to attract people you think you relate to. And then once you hang out with them, you're going to manifest a situation where they end up pissing you off, or they end up pissing you off. And that's the universe showing you need to work on yourself and learn to love yourself before dealing with people. So you may say, oh, this person seems like a cool person. And then something happens where down the line, you go back to the drawing board and be like, everybody's the same way. Every time I meet, it's the same thing. It's the same women. You always keep saying it's the same thing, because it's not really the same. It's just you're in the same mindset, so you keep attracting that same situation. Because once you change your mind, then you're going to change your whole surroundings, environment. You may not even be in your environment. You may be in a different location where people are different, and you're attracting different people within that location based upon where you doing the work. Because where the mind goes, the body goes. Somebody said the sun is in the 7th. She's right. Hold on, I'm gonna read your comments, but I want to read her comments right here. My son is in the 7th house, and it kind of makes me I'm glad you say that, because that was my problem. See, when you have something like, because this is why, like, you guys see how I act, and I'm so adamant on being, because that's something I had to work on. And in my younger days, back in high school and in my early 20s, I used to be a people pleaser, and I broke that programming. So this is why I go hard at being like a dickhead. And I'm so, like, you guys see, like, I'm so you guys may look at me as I'm disrespectful, but this is something that I had to do to get me out of that. And this is why I go hard at this is why I talk the way I talk, because at one point in my life, in my early stage, I was a person who was people pleasing and always. So once you break that programming, it makes you somebody who doesn't give a fuck about, like, if you have an astrological sign alignment and it's a flaw. Once you master that flaw, you're going to be the best at that. You're going to be the best at that mastery. So for me, the 7th house, I used to be kind of a people pleaser and give a fuck what people say. Once I overcame and mastered that, then I don't care about. I'm like, I play the representation and the poster person for somebody who doesn't care what nobody thinks. So I went to somebody who gave a fuck about what people think. Now I'm on the other spectrum, since I've done the healing work on a certain level, where I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks more than the average person. So you guys who never had a problem people pleasing and caring about what people think, I don't even give a fuck about people more than that, because I had that problem and I've overcame it. So whatever problem you have, that's your problem. We all have issues and problems. Whatever problem you have, once you master it, you're going to be the best at that than anybody else, because you've dealt with it your whole life. So when you overcome it, you're going to be the master at it. Nobody can fuck with you. Even somebody who didn't even have a problem, the same problem as you did when you were younger. Once you heal, you're going to be more of a skilled mastery person at it than them, because you've been there, done it, and you've healed. So it's not about being in the 7 houses to make you a people pleaser. You're supposed to heal from that and transmute it so it can be the opposite spectrum of it, so you don't give a fuck. And when you do care about people, it's in a positive way. It's people that matter to you, that are helping you. And so because I still like my 7th house people pleasing, because sometimes it keeps me from being too much of a dickhead. Because if I didn't have that, I may be too much of a dickhead. So it keeps me from being too much and not being, because if that was the case, I'd be a point where I'd be like, fuck all my subscribers, all you niggas ain't shit. I don't give a fuck what you niggas think. You niggas, but I have respect for you niggas. So that 7th house, it balances it. So I don't get too overboard where I'm like cussing out the people who support me. The people who actually support me, who actually understand where I'm coming from, I don't end up bringing that disrespect because I have it to balance it out. So it's not like it's completely gone for me. It's I'm able to channel that energy in the right area. I need to channel it and show respect to the people I need to show respect for, instead of these people out here I don't need to show respect for. Somebody said, "What's my Mars sign?" Oh, I'm a Mars in Aquarius. I have a Mars, Venus, and Saturn all in Aquarius in the 6th house. Yeah, Mars stellium. I have a fucking stellium because of the past life. There was something I didn't do. What? Yeah, in the past life I didn't do certain things. In this life I'm repeating things and doing it again because I didn't do certain things relating to the 6th house of my past life. So this life is like I have to go through a lot of I have a lot of like concentrated energy. So in my life, there's things that I have to do that I've never felt time. I never felt I had the time to do. Like, and that's because I have to I pretty much have to kill I have to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. And because of the stellium. So I didn't do it in the past life because in the past life, it was easy for me to do. And a lot of you guys have this shit too. In the past life, it was easy for me to do, but I took advantage of it. So in this life, it's harder for me. So I have less time, less ways to do it, but I still got to get it done. But it's not impossible, but it's just a lot harder for me. So that's the stellium I have with the Mars, Venus, and the Saturn. That's why, like, that's kind of the reason why, like, I would do certain things in life. Like, like a lot of you guys will say, like, oh, why do you do this? And why do you, like, like theft? Like, when people are, oh, why do you steal? And a lot of I'm not saying it's right or you guys should do it because I don't condone anybody to steal or do anything. What I do is what I do. Everybody is different. Some of you guys don't even need to do what I do. And I'm not saying I do that shit still, but some of you guys don't need to do that thing because based upon how your life is, but how my life was structured and certain opportunities that I didn't do when I was younger because certain things that just how it was. Like nobody really taught me these things. And I came into certain knowledge and shit at a time where because I had a lot of mental illness when I was young to the point where I couldn't focus on anything because like me, I'm very smart and I have a lot of knowledge. And part of my karma is the spirit has blocked a lot of that knowledge because if I had that knowledge, I would do damage to it. So even right now, I don't have all my knowledge. I probably have like 60% of what I'm supposed to know. There's a lot of things I haven't unlocked. And the spirit made me had extreme depression and like blockages and headaches when I was young. Because if I didn't have that, I would have had access to all that knowledge and I would have probably used the knowledge in a way that I wasn't supposed to use it. And it would have created bad karma for me. You see what I'm saying? So in order for me to get access to that knowledge, there's certain things I have to do regarding my health and fasting and healing and other things physically I had to do in my life. And in order for me, and unless I do those things, I won't have access to my knowledge. And right now, I'm about like 65 to 70% to getting to all of my knowledge, but I'm still like not completely there because of the blockages I had of that stellium in my fucking 6th house. So I'm releasing that shit right now. And let me see what you said. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm releasing all that information, all that knowledge, all that blockages. And when I release everything, then you guys will see like a whole new, like I'll have access to what I already know. Cause I've been had this information and knowledge. And since I have it in the sixth house, my health issues from a young age, it blocked all that shit for me actually being able to access that. So it wasn't till the age of like 27, 28, I'll probably say 26, 27 is when I realized like the knowledge I have right now. Like before 26, 7, I didn't really know. Like I wasn't like, you guys see me speaking this information. Like I was like not even like, a lot of this shit I know is not because I've read books. I don't read or nothing. Before that, I was just getting high, smoking, and having fun before the age of 26. The reason I have a lot of this knowledge and I'm able to speak the way I do isn't because I was reading and all this shit. Is because of the blockages I released because of shit I've already did in a past life. So a lot of my knowledge comes from past lives. A lot of the way, so I didn't really do any research or nothing or reading or nothing. It just shit I know, it's just common sense to me. And I'm able to break shit down. And it's not even about what I'm talking about. Even in my real physical life, I can see, because knowledge and intelligence doesn't just have to do with what you are talking and what you know. It's about real-time events and how you respond in a situation real time. So if two people come up to me and they try to pull a scam on me, how quick I'm able to spot it, or how quick I'm able to see what's going on in that situation and their intentions, that's also knowledge. So knowledge isn't just big. Somebody can talk about all the shit they know and the stars and this and the Pythagorean theory, but that don't mean shit if they're in a situation and a car is coming and they don't know how to move a car. Like I remember another example, like back in, this was 2018, and I was at Target and the dude he caught me stealing some shit. And he was like, well, we gotta come to the back. And I couldn't go to the back because I had a warrant, and they would have called the police and I would have went to jail. So I was like, no, I'm not going in the back. Like, you gotta go in the back. He grabbed me, and then we were tussling, and then we went into the parking lot, and then I was on my back and the guy jumped on me. That split second, I knew, because when you do kung fu, when you fight, it's about looking at their reaction and coming up with a conclusion on how to circumvent that real quick. So when he jumped on me, in my mind, I calculated if I put my leg up in this angle, he's gonna fall on the bottom of my sole. And since he's not that heavy, I can push him up and push him over me. So he jumped on me, I stuck my leg out, and I fucking like flipped him over, like, and he went behind me, and then I got up and I started running. And I don't even know kung fu, but I calculated that. So that's what I'm talking about. When things happen to me, like if somebody were to come, I remember it was years ago, somebody was coming with me and my friends, we were walking home. He came and tried to rob us. He had a gun, he's like, give me everything you have. I knew this nigga was gonna rob, I had a feeling. So I took my wallet, I put it in my sock. I put $1 in my pocket, just so he doesn't be like, oh, you got something, you're hiding it. I put $1 in my pocket. I had like $400 on me. He came, he's like, give me the money and shit. My friend, he didn't do this because it happened so quick. I automatically did it. I didn't tell my friend because I didn't assume he was gonna actually rob us. I just put in my mind. The dude came, like, all I got was $1, but I have 400 in my thing that I put in my thing. But I left the dollar in my pocket, so he'd be like, he'll think I have something. I wasn't holding out on him. But all this I was able to do in a matter of like 10 seconds. So the other friend, he seen him coming, he didn't think. But I didn't have time to tell him because it was just so quick. So like that's like certain things will happen to me in life, and I automatically know what decision to make. And it's like I can't help but know, because I'm so detailed, I have so much knowledge of I'm always scanning my reality. When I walk into a building, I'm looking at everything. Anything funny happens, I automatically know. Like I'll be in a store, and then the stupid bitch, I'll be trying to steal something. I remember some headphones I was trying to steal. The girl, she seen me pick up the headphones. Most people would just steal the headphones and be like, well, she didn't see me steal it. Shut the fuck up. Most people will just steal the headphones and be like, she didn't see me steal it. But it's not about that. She's seen you pick it up. So what I did is I picked up the headphone, put it in my pocket, then I picked up another headphone. I went up to the girl like, do you guys have any more headphones? I asked her a question about the headphone. And then she says, no. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to buy these. And I let her watch me put it down. So because I knew she was looking at me and she see me pick up the headphone and her stupid ass walked around to pretend like she didn't see me. But me, I'm smart. I'm smarter than 99.9% of people in this world. So by me knowing that, I was able to move around and I put the headphone, concealed it. Then I picked up another one and I asked her a question. Like I think I said, how much does it cost? And then she rang it up and like, oh, I'm not going to get it. And then I was able to walk out. If I was a stupid nigga, or I wouldn't even say stupid, most people would have just concealed it and then walked out and she'd be like, oh, I seen you with those headphones. So like it's little things like that. That knowledge is a real time event. Knowledge isn't just what you know, it's what's happening. I'm living life and you're living life more than you're talking and displaying what you know. I'm living life real time more than I'm making YouTube videos talking to you guys. So that's where the knowledge actually matters, not just what I'm talking to you guys in real time. Look at it as your mind is a spaceship. I think Dolo has said some shit like your mind's like a spaceship. You can know how to build the spaceship, but if you don't know how to drive the bitch, you could teach somebody how to build it. But if you don't know how to drive the bitch, what's the point of building a nice, like you bought a Lamborghini, $500,000 of Venator, whatever the fuck they call it, the Bugatti Chiron. You bought that shit. You got the money to buy it and everything. You worked hard. You already know how to make the money. You could tell people how to make money. You could tell people how to do credit to get all that shit. But then you get it. You don't even know how to drive it. You crash it. You just, all that work was for nothing. So you have the knowledge, but you don't know how to drive it. So real time is where the knowledge actually matters. When a situation presents itself, how you're able to, how quick are you able to decipher that knowledge and break it down, and that's what fucking matters. So that's the knowledge that's what I really, that's how I display my knowledge in life. Like when I'm out and about, and I can't help it. It's just like it comes secondhand nature to me. Like I just can't, like I'm automatically assume, like just see things that I can just pretty much maneuver. It's not even like I have to try. And this is with awareness. That's one true aspect of awareness, is when things happen and how you just able to know and spot. Because I'm always scanning my environment. I'm always looking around. If I see anything funny, fishy, it's like it even comes to a point where I remember there's this one dude, he was walking in front of me. And in my mind, I was like, I know this guy from somewhere. And I forgot that I remember this dude, but it just something in my mind was like, I know this guy. I didn't even see his face. His energy was there. I was like, hey, didn't I meet you before? And then he turned around and I remember we met like a few months ago. Like little shit like that. And that type of shit is shit that you just know. It's not something that you have to learn or you work for. It's just like me, it's like the more, when I release the blockages from my energy channel, I automatically know everything and things just happen, and like everything just comes to me. Everything it's so easy and everything just flows in terms of knowledge and everything. When I release the blockages, when I've been doing Qigong, yoga, fasting, when I go like on a 20-30 day fast, it gets to a point where I feel like I can literally manifest anything into my life. Like literally, it'll be a situation where I'll think something so hard and then it will actually happen. But not in the way I thought about it, but it'll be something like I'll be thinking, right? And I'll be like, because when you really tapped in, this is how I like, let me give you an example. You may ask a question to yourself, or you may say, should I do this? Or is this gonna happen or whatever? And then something might fall, like the spoon might fall on the ground, or a bird might just come and land right here. After I just asked myself, so that's confirmation. Once you get into that clear state, the reality works like that. You just ask yourself a question, or you may think about something. Like I remember I was thinking about something. I was thinking about doing something, and I'll get like a jolt on my leg. Like my leg would just jolt. Not painful, but it would just jolt. Or something will fall in the room, or somebody would come and honk their fucking horn. Or I remember like I was gonna end my fast one day. I went on a 13-day fast and I was gonna end my fast. And right when I had the thought to end my fast, because I was like, should I end my fast? And I was like, I'm gonna end it. Right when I thought to end it, somebody was like, don't you fucking do that. And he was talking to somebody else. It was a woman talking to a man, and she was like, don't you fucking do that shit. And this was right after I had the thought to end myself. The universe, like, it'll communicate through people and shit. Like the other day, there was this one fucking Asian dude. He was like, man, I remember when he said my age. He said my fucking age. And he's like, 50 years, 20 years came by that quick. He was like, I can't remember when I was 29. I'm not 29, but I'm going to say 29. He's like, I remember when I was 29. He's like, man, I'm 50 already. And he said that while I was just contemplating how fast time was going. So like the spirit, it be playing like games with you and shit. Shit's crazy. That's all that is all knowledge and tapping into shit. Somebody said, motherfuckers look back too much, the hesitation disease. Yeah, hesitation and procrastination, that's probably one of the biggest things that you don't want to do, because it's going to cause a lot of regret. At least your channel is going up on subs and views, and you got your old one back, so either it's a win-win situation. Yeah, for real, I'm just glad I got this fucking channel back, man. For real. For real, I am glad I got this shit back. I didn't even think I was going to get it back. It's two. But yeah. Say, I have a Libra and Venus, and I have a problem with compromising too much and people screwing me over or use a lot of shit. But since you know that, then that means you don't have to succumb to that. You already know you have a Venus in Libra and you compromise, and you've already probably been through situations where you've made a mistake. So since you know that, you don't have to go by that no more. Anytime you feel that energy coming up, like even get a ribbon and program the ribbon. Get like a ribbon from like a arts and crafts store and program the ribbon to be like, to have the energy of not compromising. So program the ribbon and tie it on your hand. Anytime you're around people that you feel the energy of wanting to compromise, when you look at that ribbon on your hand, it's going to remind you, I remember I have this problem, and I was watching Chauncey One's channel, and it's going to make it easier for you to not compromise. No matter how bad you want to, you're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to do it. And if you do still do it, then you know there's some type of emotional nervous system issue that you're having that you need to release and go through. Because sometimes, like a lot of you guys will say, a lot of people say, stop being depressed or stop being a bitch or speak up for yourself. But some people, they literally have an energy blockage within their body that it doesn't allow them to speak up. It doesn't allow them to not be compromising. Like a lot of this shit has to do with energy blockages. So this is why you say, I'm never gonna let this happen to me. But when the situation happens, it happens. Because when that situation happens, the first thing that happens to you is you feel like your impulse to act upon that thing that you don't want to do. That's because you have an energy blockage. So this is why you can't handle everything externally. You have to go and heal within. This is why I say you want to do the energy work, release the blockages. If you're having any of these problems, you have a blockage that you need to release. It's not an if, and, or but. And when you release that, you're going to be more in that present Zen state where things happen to you, but you're able to look at it and then you make a decision. Your nervous system isn't making a decision. You're making a decision. Because you got a lot of people have fucked up nervous system. This is why people say, oh, just be happy. Don't be depressed. Stop taking medication. I would never tell any of you guys to stop taking medications on medication, because I was at a point where I was on medication last time I was on medication was probably 2016 or 2015. Yeah, 2015, 2016 was the last time I was on medication. When I was on it, if I didn't take medication for a month, I would have extreme headaches, zaps in the mind, and I couldn't even function. But it was because I had a blockage. People say, don't take medication, get off the pill. Bitch, you don't understand what the fuck I'm going through. So this is why I don't talk shit about anybody who takes medication, because if you need medication or you feel miserable, this tells me that you have some type of energetic blockage that you need to release. Do yoga, fasting, qigong, breath work, some type of healing you need to do for the most part to release that tension that's being put on your nervous system. Because there's a reason you're feeling these flare-ups. It's because your nervous system is overreacting. Why is it overreacting? Because there's blockages that's not allowing the energy to flow quicker. Nobody is truly lazy. Nobody is depressed. Nobody is anything negative. The reason people feel laziness, depression, anxiety is because they have a blockage. At your natural human being state, you're supposed to be at peace, but you have these blockages due to karma, due to lessons. And I'm not saying you're not supposed to have blockages. Some of you guys, you're supposed to have these blockages and you're supposed to heal through these blockages. So the spirit put them in your life for you to heal them. So when you heal them, you'll be at a better state and you will, like a butterfly and a caterpillar. So you guys got to understand what the fuck is going on. Some of these, when you have these issues and these blockages, some of these are supposed to be. You got to go through hell to get to heaven. Your problem is you're stuck with these blockages. You're stuck with these issues. And you guys should have been got rid of it 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But you still have them. And you having them for such a long time is dangerous, because eventually you're going to be put in a position in life where you should have been got rid of it, but so much things are happening in your life and you're at a point where you feel like there's so much pressure from the world. But it's not that it's so much pressure, it's you should have been got rid of that blockage, but you didn't get rid of it. You see what I'm saying? You got rid of it, you took too long. So now you're at a state in your life where you got to get your shit together. And like, oh, there's too much pressure. But like, if you would have done the work about 5-10 years ago, you would have been in a mindset where the life that you think is so hard is really not hard. Because what makes life hard isn't external, what's going on. It's how you're perceiving it and the pressure within your energies. This is why the corporations, they want people to be blocked energetically. This is why you don't hear that much information on Qigong, Prana, real information about yoga. You hear about yoga, but it's all from a bullshit perspective, like these bitches who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they make it look like it's some type of fad or it's a fun thing to do. This shit is healing work. So they don't put an emphasis on it, because if they did, people will have their power, and these corporations, it will be harder for them to make money and annual revenue on their products via consumerism, and their mind control programs won't work. Because what makes their system really work is people that are very depressed and have anxiety. If everybody was able to heal and be at one, even if they weren't knowledgeable about spirituality, if people were healed and weren't sick, this will be a huge catalyst in them losing power, even if they didn't know about spirituality. Because a lot of people make decisions that they make based upon their sickness and their illness, and an energetic blockage is an illness and a sickness. So you guys got to understand that as well. You got to understand that. And this is what you have over 90% of the world walking around with energetic blockage and sickness, and no one's really healing. Like, you'll see people, like, there's so many people with so many illnesses and sicknesses and issues. And like me, I look at life differently now. Like, people just have these problems. They just go to the doctor and they think nothing of it. Oh, I'm gonna go get a fucking tonsillectomy, and nigga, you're really gonna remove your tonsils, nigga, just because they're inflamed? You know you can heal. There's many things, herbs you can take if you want to go that route. Eat, change your diet, fast. So much. Why would you just remove something? Is they want you doing it so you're not fixing the root cause, and now they can make money. Because when you're sick, you don't think. There's different types of sickness. There's mental sickness, there's physical sickness, there's spiritual sickness. Everyone's sick. And this allows people to make dumb decisions, from killing, all the way from killing people and raping and molesting, all the way down to you thinking you need to work a 9 to 5, and you looking at inflation as something that you can't get out of. Oh, I have 2 jobs, and I can't work. And life is too hard. I have to work. Like if people had cleared energy, they'll be able to create and transform that situation where the spirit will bring something in their life where it's not a problem. Because every time you see somebody with a problem, you need to understand there's always somebody living the same reality as you that doesn't have that problem. Always remember that. You see somebody complain about, oh, inflation and everyone's going broke, we can't afford rent. If you want to believe that, then you're going to create that reality. But there's people out there who find a way and rent isn't a problem to them. Whether it be they have money to pay for rent, or maybe their mind is in a perspective where they don't give a fuck about certain material things, so they can be happy without needing certain things. It can go even be into that. It doesn't just have to be about you just getting money. It could be about you just not giving a fuck about certain things. So therefore, certain desires you had, you don't have them no more. Like certain foods that I used to like, I don't even like no more. I can't even eat certain processed foods without it. Like if I go eat like some chips or some candy, like I remember there was these chili lime chips that they have at Sprouts. I was eating those like 3-4 months ago. I went and got some like a couple weeks ago. That shit got my stomach hurting. I literally have to make myself throw up. Like if I eat certain food, my stomach will I just feel nauseated for like a day and a half, and unless I make myself throw up, because I have so much prana running through my body, and I don't need food like you guys may need food. If I eat certain things, my body will get sick, because because I tell you guys I don't eat but once every 3 to 5 days. So that the reason for that is because I have prana and energy. My body is changing on a cellular level that's different from your guys'. So if I eat certain foods, don't think that, I just don't eat. And if I eat certain foods, I get nauseated because my body is able to feel the GMO chemical. So certain shit I can't even really eat without feeling nauseated and sick. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because when you guys eat that food, you guys are feeling sick too, but you have parasites. You don't have enough prana flowing, so you don't feel nauseated, but it's doing the same damage as it's doing to me. It's just you guys don't feel it. It's like a drug addict doing cocaine, and he can do a whole line of cocaine because he has a tolerance. But if you were to do it and you never did cocaine, you're gonna probably OD. Doesn't mean the cocaine is healthy for the crackhead. It's just he has a tolerance, but that cocaine is still gonna kill him. So that's the perfect example. You guys still feel it. Your body's still going through the same problem, but you don't feel it because those parasites, a lot of you guys have parasites. When you have a lot of parasites in you, the parasites is what makes you hungry. It makes you crave sugar. It makes you crave a lot of candy and shit you don't need. And it makes you hungry a lot. Like you're very hungry all the time, because that's because you got a parasite in you, and that parasite needs to eat. If you don't cleanse that parasite by doing a lot of fast and cleansing your bowels and bowel cleanses and all this shit, you don't even need to do a bowel cleanse, just fast. And when you fast consecutively for years, like I've been doing this shit since 2019. I didn't know I was cleansing out parasites until like one day I was shitting, and my shit was like, it looked hella weird and shit. Like it was hella dark, and I thought it would just, I just told myself, when you fast, that's just what it is. But come to find out, like a year ago, that was parasites I was getting rid of. And because the shit, it looks different, it was darker, and it had a stronger odor to it, because I was getting the parasites that was in the intestine. And then I noticed, like when I used to eat, my stomach used to stick out. Now when I eat, my stomach doesn't stick out, like because the parasites, they got released. So now like my stomach is just, it's like it's flat, even if I'm full. Like, you know how you guys, when you guys get full, your stomach pops out. My stomach can't pop out when I get full, because I can't eat that much without being full. Like a lot of you guys, when your stomach pops out after you eat, that means you eat so much your stomach pops. I can't eat that much. By the time I eat a little bit amount, I already get full. So I don't even want to eat no more. When you eat and your stomach sticks out when you're full, that means you have parasites, and you need to eat more to make those parasites sustain itself longer. Yeah, but I'm gonna read a couple more of these questions. This is a good live stream. It's a really good live stream. Say, oh yeah. They'll lie, use you, and take. Yep. I'm a Leo, and I felt that I spent all my life seeking attention from motherfuckers. I turned 17, 18, 22 years ago. Now I feel like a superhero. You right on that. We go hard. Exactly. Yeah, you just gotta get your power back. That's one thing that I don't want you to do is get your power back. Once you get your power back, then it fucks with it's more like you guys look at it like, oh, we wake up and we're gonna tear the system down, but this fucks with the tax dollars, how much money corporations make, like Sony, Microsoft, fucking Hagen-Dazs, like shit, like because when people wake up and they know knowledge about health and spirituality, they get out of their desires and it affects the annual earnings of these big corporations. So it affects it on a mundane 3D level that they don't want. This is why they don't like channels like this coming out, because it can fuck with the way shit is, because they get money off people's attention. We see money as cash money. Their money is human beings working. This is why they want you to have 2-3 jobs and pay you $13 an hour. Because when you guys work, when you guys get paid $13 an hour, let's say you get paid $8 an hour and you work 50 hours a week, that's hell for you guys. But from the government's perspective, they're looking at that as money, because you're working so much and we're paying you so little. So you have to work more to get a lot of money. And the more you work, you get more, you build their system more. So the same way we look at $100,000 cash, their version of $100,000 in cash is a sheep working $8 an hour for 60 hours a week, which nobody wants to do that. But if people were that programmed to do it, the system will reward you. Why do you think, like in Japan and in South Korea and all these countries that they overwork their people, they're more advanced than America? Because even though they're more advanced, they reward those societies by being more advanced than America, by making their technology more like Japan and how it's more technologically advanced. Even in Korea and China, it's a little bit more advanced than America. But then you see the third world countries that they don't even really work like that, or the work that they do is very useless, like just collecting cans or scrap metal or selling fish. It's not really building none. So they don't care. That's why those countries, they suffer, and they don't reward those countries. So that's how they look at it. So this is why another reason they don't want motherfuckers waking up. It's gonna make them have to change the system to something where they don't have all the power, because the system doesn't have to be like that. You don't even need money. It could be a whole different thing without money. But they want it like this because it just allows them to keep and maintain power. And since we're going into the age of Aquarius, they have to like take it up a notch. So this is why you're gonna see a lot more rent going high, inflation. Like, it doesn't have to be like this, but they have to make it like this, because we're like on a higher level. The people are more aware. We're like on level 2 of Super Mario Brothers. So since we're on level 2, they got to make it a little harder, because if they don't, they run the risk of losing their power. Especially right now, everybody's waking the fuck up. Everybody knows what's going on. We got people like me speaking, so they have to make it a little harder if they want to maintain their power. That's what they did. That's why they do a lot of the bullshit that they're doing. But to be honest, like, sometimes I look at life like, fuck the government, fuck the system. But I'm like, sometimes I feel like these bodies that we're in might, like, it, because the bodies that we created are very they're flawed. So a lot of the issues that we're going through is all stems from the bodies that we created and the organs, and how they deplete and they get sick, and how people always need to get certain desires met. And once we master this life, we can create a better body where a lot of these issues we won't have to go through. Maybe we won't have to go through problems like control and people taking advantage, because all of this is all based upon desires which stem from the organs in this body that we created as spirits that are very weak. If you think about it, so when we really look at it, like all these, because if you think about like everybody, when you guys will say, "Oh, I don't want to work for money and I don't want to do all this," but at the end of the day, somebody has to do something. No, if you build a big house and somebody said, "I want to live in your house that you spend all day building," if they don't have nothing to offer you, you're not going to want to have them stay in your house. So if you look at it, it all stems from the way this body and this desires and how everything is in this world. If you think about it, and the flawedness of it. This is why we want to evolve and get to a higher level so we can create a better body than this shit. Where maybe we won't have these problems. It's still not going to be perfect, but it's not going to be perfect as that one with that source energy, or but it's still going to have a flaw, but it's going to be less flawed than this body. Because you, at any time you're making something that isn't connected to the all and source, whatever they want to call it, that energy, it's gonna have a flaw in it. No matter how good you built the body or that organ or whatever situation, it's always gonna be a problem. It's never gonna be 100%, but it will be better than this. And then we just keep building from this. So I look at it like that, kind of like. Yeah. But I think that's all I gotta say in this video. If anybody got any questions, I think I got all the answers and shit. I'll drop the link if anybody wants to join before I leave. Ask any more questions. If, then I'm gonna just be out. But if you guys like, if you guys have any topics you want me to speak about, just let me know. Let me know. Because I like to break everything down. Like, even it doesn't have to be even about spirituality. It could be about anything. Because I like to break everything down, to be honest. I need to break everything down. Man, it's getting pretty damn hot out here. I can feel the summer is coming in. So, yeah, they say it's supposed to rain out here tomorrow. It's funny how tomorrow's Saturday, and then they're talking about it's supposed to rain. It's going to be a storm. So you already know how they play with the weather. They be really playing with the weather out here. And even on certain astrological days, they'll even fuck with the weather. Like when it'll be, let's just say it'll be a certain conjunction or a certain square. They may make it cloudy, knowing that that day astrologically is catered to people having low moods. Like Saturn may be conjuncting or squaring the moon in a certain aspect where people may be a little bit depressed that day. They may make it cloudy or rainy. So like I noticed they be doing that shit. They don't do it all the time, but sometimes they be doing that shit. Or like the moon will, the Uranus will go direct, then it'll be raining all of a sudden or some shit. Like, why is it raining right now when this, or the weekend comes and it'll be start raining? And then in the summer they do the same shit, but they'll make it hella hot. Like I be telling you guys on the weekends they make it rain. I remember it was a last summer, and I remember it was Saturday and it was 110 degrees. But before that, it was like 80 something, 90 some degrees. But then Saturday, Sunday, it was like 100 and fucking 7, 8. Like, so they do the same shit, but it's like they make it extremely fucking hot. This shit's crazy. He said it's supposed to rain here in Philly. Yeah, it's raining. They control this fucking weather. I'm not saying all of it they control. Maybe some of it they don't control. Maybe some of it is maybe just natural, but I don't know. I don't know. All I know is they do manipulate the weather. I'm not gonna say 100% of the time. Maybe they do 100% of the time. Why wouldn't they? Like if they could control it? Because most people think when you guys think of HARP, you guys think of HARP like, oh, it causes tornadoes and hurricanes and it causes this place was flooding, and that's one aspect of it. But sometimes they may want to make it sunny, or maybe they want to keep people inside for some reason because something happened and they don't want people outside for some, so they make it cloudy or they make it sunny. They want, let's just say they want people to be outside because they may have a certain festival or some shit that the government wants people to go out and participate in. They don't want them inside for whatever reason. Then they may make it like sunny and make it like 80 degrees, and you may be like, oh, it's sunny, but it's like, no, they cause that shit. It doesn't have to just be something extreme where it's a hurricane. HARP is not just for hurricanes and tornadoes and extreme. HARP is for regular weather too. Like they may want to make it sunny, or they may want people to stay in a house one day for whatever reason, and then because it's HARP is weather control. It's not exclusive to just fucking natural disaster control. That's one extreme of it. It can be use it for just to manipulate it on a subtle level for whatever reason they may need to manipulate it for. Yeah, it's a lot of crazy shit going on though. Yeah. So it was raining. I forgot to make. It was supposed to rain here today, but it didn't. It was supposed to rain. It was supposed to be cloudy. Actually, they say the rain's coming in tomorrow. It's probably going to be raining lightly for a little bit, not too much. I really don't even give a fuck, to be honest. I don't really care. It could rain all at once. Shit. That doesn't affect me. It's funny. And one thing I noticed, like everybody's been talking about this fucking fast food minimum wage shit. This shit is so crazy, man. Like, I guess like if you guys don't know, like out here they raised the minimum wage to $20, which people are so stupid out here. Like I'm gonna tell you how fucking dumb people are. You got people out here like fucking complaining and talking about, oh, the governor, he's a fucking idiot because all the businesses are closing. Like they'll say like liberals are so stupid because they'll raise the minimum wage, but then they don't understand. Like these people talk like these politicians are dumb. And don't get me wrong, these politicians are dumb, but it's like you gotta look at it like this. If you're gonna, because ever since they raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour out here, a lot of like pretty much all the fast food restaurants out here, they're not even hiring. They're not hiring out here because most of these franchise owners, they're cutting their labor force, they're cutting hours, and they're making less people do more work, and they're raising prices. The prices on everything out here, people be saying, 'cause I don't eat that shit, but everyone's saying like they've gone up. And I'm looking at it like they knew this was gonna happen. These people who are in these politics, they're dumb, but they're not that dumb. And then you got people out here, these fat ass Karens talking about they're just ruining the state. They don't know what they're doing. It's like, no, they know what they're doing, and maybe they want to ruin the state, because if you're gonna raise minimum wage to $20 an hour, and then you see where it's going, and they don't double back on the decision and be like, we gotta change it up. Maybe they did that on purpose as a way to get rid of, like, because there was this one franchise owner, he said that by the end of next year, you're going to start seeing AI and automation in the drive-thru. They already have this shit next year. So all of these stupid ass people who are getting paid $20 an hour, they're about to be laid off within the next 2 to 3 years. Because within the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to have AI at these fast foods. This shit's going to come quick. Watch, in the next 2 years, you're going to go on TikTok, you're going to go on YouTube, and all these content creators are going to be going to their local McDonald's. Look at the AI. And they're going to be shooting video, and then everybody's going to be talking about it. I kid you not. You remember that. In the next 2 years, you're going to see every content creator and every fucking single Karen ass bitch on TikTok filming, look what they just brought in, the AI. What do you guys think about it? And everybody's going to be talking about AI and the drive-thru, and they're going to be doing little shit. They're going to be videotaping the little robot making burgers. This is going to be the new thing. All these dumbass people who think like $20 an hour was good, like, They brought $20 an hour in to pretty much bring all this shit in and crash the system, because what's going on right now is a lot of, because they're crashing the system. So all of these, all these migrants that they're letting in the country, and then they're passing this shit like minimum wage, and they're letting migrants squat and all that. They're doing this shit on purpose because they're trying to crash the system. So when the system crashes, they can just blame it on these stupid laws that are being passed and the migrants and everything. When the fuck did they let migrants just come in here and get? I thought they deport people and shit. Like we got these migrants coming in here and squatting in people's house and doing all this shit, and they're letting them do it. The reason they're letting them do it is because the system is, they're trying to crash the system. The people who run it, they want to crash everything, and so they can bring in the new system. It's not crashing it because like on purpose, like, well, they are doing it on purpose, but they're not doing it because they just are just doing it. They're doing it so they can bring in this whole new system. This is why they're even allowing the crime and the theft. This is why, like, a lot of you guys say, oh, why are you still, like, when I was stealing and doing all this shit, I was getting in it when I was getting in it when the getting in it was good. Now it's getting to a point where so many people are doing it. We're getting to a point where you're not going to be able to do that shit in the next 3-4 years, because they're going to be really, especially when Saturn gets into Aries. When Saturn gets into Aries, Saturn rules like the government. Aries rules like the individual. So they're going to be really strict on the crime. Could be a lot more, probably a lot more like AI mass surveillance, and they even having drones where somebody does a crime, they're going to be able to have a drone go to that location before the cops come. So the cop will be able to look at the person on the little camera before he gets there and know who the suspect is. Because before they call the cops, and they'll ask you for a description. Soon they're going to have drones up there where the drone just comes to the location, and they have drones on standby. So you know how they have the helicopter that will check? They're going to have drones, and they're going to be able to have like hundreds of these things fly out to the area, look at, and then they'll be able to follow the suspect if he runs away. They're going to be having all this shit. And then once Saturn gets in the area, they're going to be really stringent on the crime. It's going to be really like, you ain't going to be able to do shit really. And then they're allowing people. This is why they allowed the theft and all the crime. That's one of the reasons, because it's another way to traumatize society. So now they can bring in all this Big Brother and all this fucking military surveillance and all this high tech. They're even having it at Disneyland, facial recognition to get in the park to make sure you're the person on the ticket. They're telling you, like, they're having all this shit, and they have to make all these laws and make all these stupid things. And like, you notice how they're doing it mainly in California. They're trying to run all the businesses out of California, because anybody, if you know anything about opening up a business and franchise and anything, the best place, not right now, but the best place to open up a business and to make the most money is California. It's most people, the most tourism, the biggest economy in the United States. So this is why they're fucking up all the laws in California, because what I think they're trying to do is trying to get all the small businesses out and only have mainly corporations that are like too big to fail. So therefore, they make all the money. And if you're a mom and pop and you run a little storefront, you gotta have to take your ass to Wyoming or Montana or some shit like that. So like they're doing some stupid, like, because you notice like they passing all the stupid laws in California, but all the other states they aren't. And I'm like, they're doing it on purpose. Like, why would they fuck it? Like, and it's like I can kind of see why they're doing it. It's weird. And I'm not gonna say like they're stupid laws, because all the laws are stupid, to be honest. When I say stupid laws, I'm saying like stupid as in what the main status quo was really gonna, what their perception of it is. Because all of these laws are fucking stupid if you really ask me. This whole system is dumb. So it's really not like, oh, they're passing, like it's all stupid. But that's something I noticed. Like, this shit's fucking hilarious. And then and it's funny because like everyone's complaining how hamburgers are more expensive and fries are more expensive. Like, bitch, who gives a fuck? Maybe your fat ass don't need to eat that no more. Like, who cares? Like, who gives a shit? You don't need it. I could see if it was like fruit, vegetables, and you don't even see people complaining about fruits and vegetables being more expensive. Nobody's complaining about that. People will complain more about cereal and fast food becoming more expensive, but you will hardly see people complain about fruits and vegetables more expensive. That's why it's a good time to be fasting and picking up. Like, don't you know, like how everyone's speaking about fasting and intermittent fasting now? Because this is the age of Aquarius. You're not supposed to be eating so much. Don't get me wrong, you can eat all you want, but it's going to cost you money and it's going to be more of a heartache. That's why I pity people who got kids. Because when it comes to kids, you really can't make that type of decision. Oh, you don't need to eat, because kids need to eat at the end of the day. They can't really control themselves. That's why I'm so glad I don't have kids. And I like, when I see people with kids, I'm like, you fucking retard. Like, when I see people with kids, like, if you got your shit together and you're like a successful entrepreneur, you making your own money, you're not dependent on any type of financial, so you make your own money, you have your own situation, and you want to have kids, I don't blame you. But if you work in these, like, anybody working a job right now, you about to get laid off within the next 5 to 10 years. All these stupid ass people talking about, oh, it's hard to find a job right now. There are so many videos on YouTube, people talking about it's hard for them to find a job. Oh, I filled out hundreds. This guy said he filled out 1,600 applications within like 6 months or some short period of time. He's like, nobody called him back. The reason nobody called your stupid ass back, because all the corporations are downsizing. All those corporations are getting rid of people. They're laying off people. And if you happen to get a job right now, you're going to get laid off. There's people who got a job last year. It was hard as fuck for them to get one. They're getting laid off this year. By the end of this year, there's going to be so many people getting laid off. They already going to plan on laying everybody off, but they have to do it in small increments so it doesn't bring so much shock to the system and so much fear. Like, they got to do it in a certain way. This shit is crazy. And then you got people out here, like, this is a time right now where you don't want to be dependent on no job. Like, literally everywhere like, jobs, they're not hiring like that no more. Remember back in 2021, there was like the job apocalypse, or there was some other shit, the great resignation, where people were quitting back in 2021, the same year as a food shortage. Fast forward 3 years later, food is so fucking prevalent. If you go to any store, you don't even see empty shelves no more, really, when it comes to food. Not only that, there's no jobs, really. So this shows you that all of that shit in 2021 was fake. It was all staged. They created a situation to make it like that. So you guys got to understand what's going on. It's all bullshit. Nobody talks about food shortage no more. You don't hear about it no more. Remember, everyone's all saying stock up on fruits and beans, and don't forget to stock up on all your essentials, rice, and have your ready to eat, ready to go meals that last for 20 years, and you put them in your fucking basement, and it comes in a bucket shipped from you from Amazon. Nobody talks about that shit because you look stupid. If anything, people are talking about fasting and eating less, and this shit is poison and how I don't need to eat as much. It's the opposite. And you see how now they're trying to flood all the stores with food and shit to kind of balance it out, to make people not want to go on that path. And not only that, the food is more fake. It's all bullshit. Like, it's more, the quality is low than it was 3 years ago. And it was already bad then. But keep eating the food. Eventually what's going to happen is there's going to be no more. All your favorite foods are going to be off the shelf no more. They're not going to be on the shelf. And eventually it's going to get to a point where they're going to roll out 3D printed food. I give it about 10 years, probably sooner. You're going to start seeing, because it's going to get to a point where they're not going to want to, or they're not going to be able to produce the food, because the inflation and the cost of goods and ingredients are going to go so high that they're going to have to bring out 3D printed food. It's all like it's all orchestrated. That's what I'm assuming. Because you see how you see all this 3D printed food and shit, but you'll see shit like this, but nobody's really talking about it now because we're not at a point. They're gonna bring it out once again, just like with the crime. They're not gonna bring out mass surveillance and all of these crazy ass laws. They have to first let the crime go a certain way, like in fucking Oakland, like about 3-4 hours from where I stay. Fucking, just so many people getting robbed there. Like, that city's like a fucking hellhole. So many people getting robbed in that city every day. Like you can't even open a business. Okay, if you open a business in that city, you have to have a budget for robberies because you're gonna get robbed in that fucking city. Like that's how bad it is. It's to a point now where they're installing like license plate readers and car readers where it's able to read your license plate and read the make and model of your car. So when somebody commits a crime and they take the highway, the interstate, they have these shits all on the interstate and in like the main street. So when the criminal gets away, the person will say the description of the car, the license plate number, the victim. They can just call the police and they type it in the system like, oh, this car is this way. They're gonna have that shit. They don't have it in all the cities, but they're implementing it there because niggas is on some nigga shit to the extreme over there. So they have to implement that type of shit, and that's gonna be everywhere around the country. Like they even have it where like it's what I'm saying, it's crazy. Because you can't even it's hella dangerous over there. Remember the house that I was staying at? That big house? We lived near Oakland, but it was in the rich area because it was like a little small island. And there was a bridge that goes up. There was no crime in that area, that island where I stayed at. There was no crime. The reason why there's no crime because they have like that's I can tell that the crime is fake because all that crime you see in Oakland that they show you on the news and shit and people robbing, there's an island. That's where my house, the house that I was staying in by the beach, it was on that island. And fucking the funny thing is there was no crime there, barely any. Because they made sure nothing happened. I don't know what the fuck they did, but niggas knew not to go over that fucking bridge. Because if they did, most likely you were gonna get caught up. Like there'll be some thefts and shit, but it wasn't as bad as Oakland. They made sure of that. So that made me realize like the crime that you see in Oakland and some of these major cities like Chicago and LA, that shit is they allow that shit to happen. They can shut that shit down. Think about it like this. If the US military could go to fucking all these other countries in Africa and Iraq and all these other places, and they could shut these fucking countries down and take out these fucking terrorist leaders and these rebel leaders or whatever, don't you think they could just go in these fucking hoods and put that shit on lock if they really wanted to? And that's like I say, it's all bullshit. That crime shit is all fake. Yeah, Nunu said get the likes up. Yeah, if you guys can get the likes up. I never say that because I always forget, but yeah, if you guys can start liking this video, because when you like the videos, I guess it puts it in the algorithm, but I'm gonna have to start pushing that. Get the likes up. If you guys can, like, just hit the like button. It's free. You don't have to spend no money. It doesn't take no time. I need to start reminding people. Thank you for saying that. I need to start putting that out there. So I've been doing the neck and shoulder yoga routine is really helpful, but sometimes I would feel, if you're feeling extremely sleepy, if you're feeling sleepy after doing it, that means it's working. That means your body's in a relaxed state. Your nervous system is relaxed. That's good. That's good. If you're feeling sleepy after this, that means your nervous system is relaxed. That's very good. That means it's working. You're releasing that tension because all that tension that was tightening your muscles, it was putting pressure on your nervous system, so you couldn't relax. You didn't think you couldn't relax, but once you release that tension, you feel like you can relax, and then the energy starts flowing through. So that's a good thing. Pretty soon as you keep doing it, you're gonna be the opposite. You're gonna have more energy. You won't even feel tired. He's not the actual birth, but I guess he was pregnant using hormones. Who was? I guess somebody, you said a man was. This was crazy. There was a fucking article, and it was a man giving breastfeeding a kid, a baby, and everybody was like, and I'm looking at it like, so a man is pretty much sexually abusing a baby, And they made a fucking article like the baby sitting here sucking on this man's titty. This man could be like some type of like he could be attracted to children and can be getting a hard off from this fucking baby doing that. And they put this shit on the news and they put a picture of it and the nigga's like smiling. I'm like, what the fuck? Like when is it okay to sexually abuse baby and they put it on the news like it's good? I thought sexually abusing kids, let alone a fucking baby, was illegal. This thing is doing it, and they're saying, "Oh, it's okay because he's breastfeeding and it's a transsexual." Get the fuck out of here with that weird ass shit. Like, you can call it what you want. That nigga was sexually abusing a baby. How the fuck? When the fuck is a baby need to be sucking on a man's titty? That doesn't make sense. That's weird. Like sitting there traumatized. Imagine if that baby becomes an adult and he sees that photo that's on the fucking internet. What if you seen that shit? You were a baby and then you were sucking some fucking man. What are you gonna think that something's weird with that? You probably feel some type of way. Like, what the fuck's going on? That's crazy. And then people are like looking at. I know people were actually saying. Everyone was saying this was weird, but nobody was calling it out the sexual abuse of a fucking baby that man was having, because that's a fucking man. And what the fuck's going on? Oh, he's giving milk. So if I go put a contraption under my nipple and it shoots out milk and then a baby sucking that, is that normal? Like, why don't you just go to the fucking actual mother? Why does a baby need to go to a man that, even if the man had hormones, why does a baby need to go to a man for that? Why don't you just go to the woman? It doesn't make sense. Just go straight to the source. It's fucking weird. It's like a fucking water fountain. And instead of going to the water fountain, I go to the puddle and start drinking out of the puddle. Like, just go to the source. Oh, the puddle has water in it, so why go to that if I can just go to this? It's just weird. People are dumb, dude. But I'm about to end this live stream, guys. I think I've said enough. I'll probably come back a little later. This is a good live stream. One thing I love about the streamer, it lets you keep this shit up. Right when I'm done, it just goes straight up. I don't have to wait. I hate going live on YouTube. Like, I fucking hate YouTube live. I fucking hate YouTube live so much. Like, it just doesn't feel the same way, and they need to update that shit. They probably won't, because if they did, they'll probably have to start charging money for it. You can go live with people on YouTube, but it's not the same. Like, when I go on fucking stream, like, it feels like I can just conversate and it's just more relaxing. YouTube, it just feels so fucking uncomfortable and shit. But yeah, I'm about to end this live stream, guys, but I'm out. Peace.